Ahoy hoy.
How you doing, pal?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Coffee Doug, what's up, man? How's it going?
Doing pretty good. I recently watched 976 Evil Deuce, and I would love to sit and talk about it with you.
Dude, that sounds great. We did the first one together, but we got to have Chris on it. We got to get Chris.
Of course.
I'm sitting right here.
That's what I forgot. Well, maybe we got to have Sarah on too.
I'm here too. I've been doing Jello shots with you for like the last hour.
Oh yeah.
We're all already here.
All
The
right.
gang's all here. The gang is all here. We watched 976 Evil 2. We watched it so you don't have to. So you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
What's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. Joining me today on a very special super show, a super episode, if you will. Of course, it's my co-host, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron, how are you doing this
This is
day?
our 128th episode extravaganza.
Yeah, because 128 is such a high. Fuck 150, fuck 120. We're doing 128.
You know you have arrived when you've done 128.
828.
Yes.
And then joining us with us today again is our family, our extended family, our all-star guest lineup. We have Chris and Sarah Samples is back as
Woohoo!
Hello.
Hey guys.
there you go. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend. We finally got him back, Mr. Coffee, Doug
Hi, kids.
Jones.
Yay! I'm excited to be here.
Doug
as
couldn't
always.
wait for the marshal to get through your name
Yeah,
before
I
you
was
have
like-
to say hello.
An orgasm. I was like, man, that just turned me on. You talking about me like
You
that?
just shot way too soon.
Yeah.
Imagine if that actually happened during like a Ring intro, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, yeah, today, very special episode, 976 Evil 2. But before we get to that, we're going to do something we've never done before. We just wrapped up our 2007-2018 Horrible Horror March Movie Madness Tournament of Awfulness,
Nice.
which
That was the smoothest I've ever heard it. It rolled right up.
I had to concentrate so
Yeah.
hard
Wow.
to do that.
So they've been listening to this, and it's like, man, you guys are all over the place with this damn tournament. You
Well-
don't even know what it's called. You don't know where it's going.
No.
Or what it is.
But apparently now that it's over,
Now that it's over, I finally got it.
Yeah.
But our winner was Lake Fear 2. But it turned out this year that when we made the brackets, we had 4 movies remaining that couldn't make it into the brackets. So that left us with 4 actual good movies. So we figured, you know what? Why don't we actually pick a best of for the this past, we'll quote unquote, season, if you will. So that movies are 4 choices here that we're going to kind of discuss, and we're going to try to come to a consensus here of which one we think is the best movie of the season. Is Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, Stage Fright, the newest remake with Meatloaf, Night of Something Strange, and Knucklebone. So those were our top 4 movies of the last year. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to, like I said, just kind of see which one was the best. And I know everybody's going to have different opinions, but let's just start off with the big one. 100th episode was Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
that was the big one.
That was the big episode. That one got left out. I kind of wanted to put that in the tournament, though. I didn't really care for it, but you know, it is a nightmare movie, and I kind of gave the benefit of the doubt. But so let's just kind of, thoughts on Nightmare on Elm Street 5. Take it away. Anybody who wants to.
So I'll go ahead and kick it off. And I know we both were like, should we put it there? Should we not? We decided not to because honestly, I don't think it would last very long. It'd be one of the very first ones eliminated. But it really was not the best Freddy movie. But man, I did enjoy it. It would, like, when I watched it, it's still fun. It's still Freddy. It's still classic Nightmare on Elm Street, like, shtick. He says bitch more than anyone else in the world. And it's a blast. So I enjoyed it, and even listening to the episode, going back and listening to it, I was like, man, that is kind of a fun movie. The effects are pretty decent, but God, the little kid. School's out, Kruger. You know,
Jacob.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
fucking
Jacob.
Jacob.
That fucking kid. Jesus. I liked it. I felt like it probably would have done okay in the tournament had it not been. If you took that same story, that same premise, that same kind of thing, and you put it in,
If it wasn't a Freddy
and
movie,
it wasn't Freddy,
Yeah.
I think it would do well. I still don't think it'd win. I still think maybe it'd get maybe past the first round of the tournament. I don't think it would go too
You know,
far.
that's actually a great point. I never thought, like, if you took that whole plot and premise out of the Freddy universe and it was like a different antagonist, different killer, how well would it really hold up and people like it?
Yeah.
That's a great point because I never thought that way.
See, I think I have nostalgia value, though. I think one reason I would put it forward is because it's Freddy. So even if it might not have been as good, I might be more liable to vote for that because it's Freddy. That's personal, you know. Like it's not a great movie, but I liked it, you know.
Well, yeah, I think just a legacy alone kind of would keep it out of the
And
tournament.
that's kind of what we ended up
Yeah.
with. Yeah, that's kind of what we went with. So as we go along, we're probably going to rank these. We'll talk about that. For me, Nightmare on Elm Street 5 was the bottom of the 4. That's my 4th pick for top of the year. I mean, does anybody else disagree with that or have it ranked differently in their opinion?
For me, it was at the bottom, but it's definitely not my last. I mean, when I enjoyed that, I really enjoyed doing that episode so much. And again, it was this nostalgia factor.
yeah.
I loved that. It was fun to talk about. It's definitely not my bottom because I guess maybe it is because it's part of that franchise. Now, I will say that after that episode, I went back and watched the rest of them, and I was like, oh yeah, that movie was sucky, but even it's still Freddy. I mean, you know.
Okay, let me ask
Freddy's
a
not
question.
dead.
How many times have you guys watched that in your life? That one, do you think?
Twice, maybe 3 times. I think I've seen it 3 times.
Marshall?
I'm thinking 3 or 4 because I know we watched the first time we saw it. Like I said, was the two of us and our friend Ty. And then I know I probably watched it at least twice for that episode. And I'm going to say maybe I saw it one other time.
Chris and Sarah?
Between all that, but
I've seen it 4, maybe 5 times, but that's also because I had small babies in October, and, like during Halloween time, and so I would sit around late at night and watch AMC, and it was on a lot. So I've seen it I've seen the 4th and 5th one like 5 times.
Yeah, at least 3 or
No
4
shame.
times. I mean, I know I watched it twice for the podcast, and
Okay.
then I'd seen it before that.
See, just in life, that was my 4th or 5th time watching it. So my thing is, anytime you're going to watch a movie 4 or 5 times in your life for whatever reasons, it has something.
It has
It's-
something.
something's
It
about
has
it, yeah.
something there that you are cool with sitting through.
It's a good point. But
So I don't agree with the bottom of the
I don't
barrel.
agree.
I'm
with
gonna have.
bottom either.
Well, honestly, for me, out of the 4 that we're gonna be doing, that's the one that is on the bottom for me. So I'm
Aaron and
ranking.
I agree.
So
Okay.
let's go around and rank.
All right,
Freddy, like you said, or should we wait to the end?
Well, we want to
Yeah,
wait.
let's just
You wanna
wait. Let's
for
just
that?
wait.
All
Let's
right.
just wait.
Okay, the next let's knock Stage Fright out of the way. Now this one, Sarah was on that episode with me,
Woo woo.
and we loved it. But I will admit, we said it before. I said it's such a limited, like such a niche, like limited target audience that's
Yeah.
really going to appreciate the movie for what it is. That's really going to hurt its overall, I think, standing. But I personally love the movie, and I watched it again recently for this, and still loved it. I'm like, man, that's so good, like so much fun.
The people who don't love it because it's something unique or musical are Philistines. Philistines, I say. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of
Did
fun.
you?
Fucking Meatloaf is awesome.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna like that one or not.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did.
It's unique. It's a musical. It has breaks out into song and dance. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun murder mystery. It almost has like a little touch of like, I mean, it doesn't borrow from Phantom of the Opera, but still kind of makes you kind of like with the theater and the
Yes,
stage
exactly.
and the presentation. It kind of makes you think about that. It's like, I liked it. I had a lot of fun.
And the music that's like one note off from being copyrighted.
Yeah, well, okay.
I think that the music was really well done.
Oh, the music's
it stuck
great.
with you. Now, I will admit that, you know, again, I loved it because it hit on like every theater nerdy thing ever, and that's totally me. There was a period of time, you know, you got that first kill, which was really
Yeah.
brutal and well done, and then you didn't get a kill for a long time. There was no nudity. There was no sex because it was all about like underage camping kids.
Yeah.
But it was comedy alongside with nostalgia, alongside with really brutal brutal killing
Yeah, the
when it
kills
happened.
were great. They had some really good kills in that
the
movie.
end of it just ramped up, and it.
You brought up a good point, though, with it being at a camp. Usually, they can a camp horror movie will still have shower scenes and stuff. They didn't have. You're right.
Yeah,
they didn't rely on that at all.
The
Wow.
campers aren't like high. The campers range from like probably like 6th grade, 8th grade up to like high school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's. But
It'd
yeah,
be wrong to see.
it would be wrong.
I mean, maybe.
I will say though, the star you do when she's in the corset at the end with her tits pushed up to her chin looks amazing.
I mean, there's a little bit of that.
So hot.
So they're gonna you know give it a little nod like, hey, we know we'll butter your bread a little bit.
But the break, like she said, you know, you get that immediate first real horrific kill.
Yes.
And then there's like a break in the kill.
A song
aspect.
break, if you will.
Yeah.
The songs dance didn't bother me. It was just it took me out of it with the lull there, like the build of the story, and then like it just took forever to kind of deliver.
Yeah, I mean it's not uncommon in horror movies, but with that one I could see why it would bother some people.
Yeah.
And what were your thoughts, Doug? Did you you watched it?
I liked it a lot because I didn't expect it. I had started that movie with a friend like a year and a half or 2 years ago, and they didn't like it at all. So we shut it off, and I was always like, okay, I'll get back to it. But watching it this time for you guys, I liked that I could recommend it to somebody that loves musicals and maybe not horror, and then vice versa, horror, maybe not music. And that could backfire. That could be like, oh, God, that's it. Because like you guys said, I don't know who they wanted to market this to, but it's impossible. Yeah. But you could recommend it to people, and like, you might really dig this, you know? I really enjoyed this one.
It seems like they really marketed towards people in the theater or theater geeks.
More than horror, yes, for sure.
But it's a good comment. It's like, hey, theater geeks, here's our theater horror movie, you know? And, and I liked they even touched on the fact that there's a lot of gays in theater too, which it was great, you know. I mean, it's true.
It took every theater stereotype and just dropped Easter eggs on us over and over again. It was just like, well, here they're referencing this, and here they're referencing.
Yeah, like if you don't know, there's a lot that they'll go over. People says that they won't get, but if you're in that environment, I mean, there's a lot of stuff there that you can pick up on. And be like, oh, and then it's like it just puts a smile on your face because it makes you laugh at yourself because. Like we sat there during the episode and talked about how much like we did that dumbass shit. Or if you did, you know somebody who did. But
they homaged a lot of horror movies, if I remember right, which I'm sure you guys talked about. Yeah. But it's kind of neat.
There were some pretty good references like Hellraiser and Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and a few other horror movies. But when it comes down to it, as much as I personally love it, again, because it is such a weird, unique movie, I put it at number 3, which pained me but only because of the fact that it's probably not for everybody. So I had to take that in consideration. I put that as my 3rd.
All right. Well, we'll hear the next. So what's the next movie?
You didn't.
Let's do Knucklebones.
Doug's been one.
I'll tell you where I rank this fucking movie, ladies and gentlemen.
0.
Yeah, let's do Knucklebones. This one. Was a big surprise for me. I remember going into this one thinking it was going to be a shitty movie and trying to be one of my favorites. I loved this movie. I thought the kills were really, really good. I thought it was fun. The girls were insanely hot. I mean, it was just, I don't know. There was a lot of craziness to the movie. The kills are good. I found it to be a very pleasant surprise for what I was expecting. Sarah's shaking her head no, but
Sarah, let's hear your thoughts.
I hated this movie. I wouldn't say I hated it honestly because, I mean, I liked the end, but the whole part. There's this whole part where there's a suicide. She wants to try to commit suicide. That whole bullshit is not necessary, and it just basically highlights some of the really shitty acting, like. If they would have done away with that, then it wouldn't have mattered because all you would have seen were the big ass tits that like were incredible and and all that stuff. And then the kills were good. I will admit the kills were good. I had a problem with the fact that this was supposed to be like some kind of a demon being brought back to life, and it looked to me like a guy wearing a Johnny Brox costume. Like he looked like a homeless guy with like rags on a mask, and that kind of threw me off because I was like, but he's a demon that like killed Nazis with a gun and like things like that. So it shocks me honestly that you liked it so much.
I shocked myself, but I really did.
It had a lot because you guys also. I listened to it. I think that's part of it too. I listened to the podcast and I was like, oh my god, this movie is gonna be great. And then I watched it and I was like, ow, like, why'd you cut your hand off, girl? Like, why'd you do that? Like,
we commented. I remember commenting on that specifically, but yeah.
So as much as I shouldn't have said I hate it because it really wasn't like terrible. I just think that it was probably low budget. They did a good job for what that was, but I think they could have just knocked some stuff out and kept to like the really violent kills, like slicing that chick in half and
one of the best kills. Yeah,
I mean,
that was an epic kill.
That was a good scene, but it's like at the end of the day, I was like, this guy really isn't scary to me.
I enjoyed it. He had some wisecracks. He had some good one-liners, and honestly, what turned me on right when the movie started is they had a decent opening. With the Nazi, like, back in the day, like, the Nazi control room. Nazis. And then I'm like, okay, fuck Nazis. And that's my first thought. Like, boo, bad guys. All right, so this is going to be a Nazi demon. I hate this demon already. But the demon comes back, and he kills the Nazis. And I'm like, all right, go, Knucklebones, go. So right off the bat, I'm like, got, like, a different, like, look on this guy. And that's just his job, is just killing motherfuckers. So he's just working. You know,
working for a living.
He's just trying to get by. But I like they did a good job of like explaining how the stuff got to Texas and how all the stuff got there, and they kept you. They give you little nibbles the whole way, explaining it along. So it was because so many movies we watch, we're like, "What the fuck does that mean? That doesn't make any sense." And whenever you're asking, "Well, that doesn't make any sense," then they drop a little nugget like, "Oh, that explains it. Oh, that explains it. Oh, that explains it."
They did do a very good job of that.
That way, it keeps you hooked onto the movie the whole way you go through. Plus boobs.
I know.
So
well.
yeah.
Chris.
I thought the acting was subpar. Honestly, but there was a lot of action. The kills were good, and I did like the twist at the end, where like even though she had to cut off her own hand to do it, but she used it as like a weapon.
Yeah,
you know that she finds out that in the beginning when her fiance breaks up with her, and then at the end it turns out like her best friend was like the bitch, and then she unleashes Knucklebones on them, and I thought, oh man, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I did like the ending.
Yeah. Although I did like one part that was so weird in the very beginning when before he breaks up with the girl in the very beginning, he goes through the whole elaborate date of going on a date, playing games, everything. I got you this giant bear. By the way,
giant elephant. It's like as big as she is.
We're breaking up. So
well, I also will say, I mean, she had like the worst mom on the planet, though.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, so her daughter's trying to commit suicide. Yeah, go ahead and go out with your friends. No problem.
Take all
your pain.
Take all these pain pills.
No problem.
Well, technically,
go enjoy yourself. You know?
Technically, she snuck out. The mom didn't let her. She snuck out, and I don't think she took the pill.
Sorry, but she didn't like notice she was gone.
Right. I still, and then instead of going out looking for help, she basically drinks herself into a coma.
Yeah, she gets fucked up and like passes out.
I think I said that on the podcast. I'm like, that's Suicide Watch 101. Yeah. What the fuck is wrong with this lady?
You did. I went back and listened.
Well, and so that's a good point, though. I mean, that was funny to talk about, but I feel like the mom character was so unbelievable because it looked like it could be her sister, and like they were just trying to put another hot chick in it, which I get, but it's like if they would have cut that and just been like 4 idiotic kids go to a warehouse or 5 kids go to a warehouse and Nazis, like I think I would have been like a little bit more, but just that one guy being like, my wife is kind of Bible-y, and it kind of took me out.
Though without that breakup, then you don't have that twist at the end. Which
that's true. That's true.
Now, full disclosure to all the fans, I didn't watch this movie. I tried.
Didn't do his homework.
I didn't do my homework, and I tried. Told them earlier, I tried multiple times to watch the movie, and I couldn't make it happen because it wasn't available as all the other ones are, whether Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, however, so my goal was listening to all of you talk, deciding whether I will watch this movie later. Now that I don't have to watch this, even though I love horror. And I am absolutely going to watch it because the you three guys said enough to make me like, I think I'm going to like it. But then it's got enough critique from Sarah where I'm like, okay, I'm not expecting something totally awesome. I won't be let down. I'll probably have a couple bourbons and then press play and see where my night goes.
Perfect.
So yeah, that's my thoughts.
All right. So that brings us to our last movie up for the championship, I guess, or the title of best of. And that Night of Something Strange. Now this, well, it lives up to its title for sure.
It's definitely strange.
This was one that Chris was joined us on the original episode for that one. And this movie was just so insane that it's almost beyond words, and you can't really even talk about. It's one of those things you just have to see for yourself to fully experience. But we did all like it. I remember that it was one that we all loved. So
this movie turns on the car, puts it in gear, hits the pedal, and doesn't let off the gas. Until the very end.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good analogy for it.
Balls out the entire time. Sometimes literally.
Balls.
That's a great way of putting it, and I totally agree. As soon as the movie, we start with necrophilia, like aggressive necrophilia, by
very aggressive.
Wayne Johnson.
Yeah, W. Johnson.
Wayne W. Johnson, who we've interviewed, also friend of the show. So yeah. And he also, Cornelius steals the show. Also, he really that honestly, Wayne Johnson helps make the movie.
Yes,
the guy is so into the character. It's so aggressive. Everything he does is just with such like energy. The other zombies, the other characters, the other like the telescopic dick zombie, the
the 3D,
the smoking zombie, the couple other different zombies or infected or whatever you want to call them. They're good. But fucking Wayne Johnson, the Cornelius character, fucking nails it.
he owned it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, he owned it.
So when he helps sell this a lot. But the writing's good. The characters are great. I love the fact that they name him after Freddy, Jason, Carrie, Christine. You know, it's got enough. It's got so much good enough humor, good gore, the perfect combination for an indie film. Dude, fucking lights out.
The blood spray in that movie is fucking off the charts awesome.
It's intense. I mean, there are so many times in that movie where you're just like, oh, like I think Chris threw up in his mouth during the podcast like 5 times, and then watching it with him was kind of hard too. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of moments where you're like, that is so wrong. Like this is so but it's done so well that you're like. I mean, there's a vagina that like talks like that.
There's vagina dentata.
Yeah, doesn't it say eat me?
We compared it to the we call it the Vaglar pit, right?
Yes, the Vaglar pit.
The Vaglac, the Sarlacc pit.
Vaglac
pit. Vaglac.
It says fuck me. I think it says fuck me.
I don't know. That affected me.
I don't remember because I couldn't hear myself. I couldn't hear the TV over me screaming. I was going, ah!
I think that movie too. It had elements of what all of these movies had. It had comedy that was really well done. It had good production value. It had so many kills. It was shocking. It had so much over the top sex, and then it just touched on like all of these other genres and nostalgia type things that like little, the little Easter eggs, and then, ovaries that look like, fuzzy dice.
I forgot about those.
There were times in this movie where it just turned me off to where I was like, okay, I'm not liking this. And then 3 minutes later, I was like, well, motherfucker, like this is hilarious, or like why did they think to even do that? And I loved it. So it was like a roller coaster for me.
Yeah, I remember like I went back and listened to the original episode we did, and I know I was on the fence because there was so much like rape in this movie.
Yeah,
and I was like, God, it's good, but the rape really bothers me.
So
like,
rapey.
I couldn't commit to like liking
it,
but I watched it again.
So that's what my second thing I was going to say is I need to give it a second watch. What did you think the second time around?
Well, I mean, originally I watched it twice for the original podcast.
Oh.
And then we watched it again. Yeah, I mean, it's still, obviously the over the top rape is still there. But just, again, like the fact that it just doesn't let up the entire time. And there's enough other little things that are awesome in it, kind of overshadows the violent rape.
But even
All the awesomeness overshadows the rape.
we're gonna have to quip just that sentence when Chris runs for Congress.
I don't know how to say it PC.
No,
Well,
yeah.
there was equal opportunity rape. And
There
you
was.
guys
Yes,
even
there
said
was.
that because it was girls and boys. It wasn't like your standard 80s
And
movie
none
where
of it
they're
is
raping the women.
attractive. And a lot of times it's like them peeing on one of them or doing something weird.
Yeah.
Just
The
as long as the
badge
fluids get there, then you get all like infected. I guess that's the if you get fluided, you're infected.
I loved listening to that episode so much because you guys quoted so Chris said on air, I don't have a vagina, but if I did, and things like that, like the way you guys talked about the tampon, it was you were just like ew, and you argued about butt cheeks and it was so great to listen to.
Yeah.
I don't have a
Regardless.
vagina, but
But if I did, I would not pee in that toilet.
That's when she was, Christine
That's so awesome.
which one? She was going to sit on that toilet. Like, bitch, piss in the sink.
Yeah.
Don't sit on that. Don't do that.
Or outside in the woods, like anybody does
Anywhere
camping.
but
Yeah.
there.
All right. So, well, let's try to come to a census now. It's going to be hard. I think I've probably changed one of my rankings here, but if we want to pick a fourth one, what do we say number 4?
Well, what is your 4 to 1?
My 4 to 1 is Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Stage Fright. And originally I had Night of Something Strange and then Knucklebones number 1. But the more, I don't know, the way we're talking, it's hard because talking about the movie so much, it's so goddamn fun to talk about because it's so crazy. But I'm like, I don't know, I really enjoyed Knucklebones. Night of Something Strange is insane. But I don't know. It's kind of a 1A type thing for me. It's tough. So that's where, I don't know. I'm there. Aaron, what are you? Aaron's dribbling
I
jello
got
shots.
jello shots all over my
I
shirt.
know it's messy.
Aaron needs a horrible horror bib.
I do.
Like the lobster bib.
So my 4 to 1. Number 4, Nightmare on Elm Street. Number 3, Knucklebones. Number 2, Stage Fright. I had a lot of fun with that one because it's unique. It's so different and so it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Number 1, it was obviously Night of Something Strange. That was my number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes Nightmare on Elm Street for number 4.
Okay.
Knucklebones number 3. Stage Fright number 2. And
I'm cool with that too.
Night
I'm
of
glad.
Summer-
I'm really.
yeah.
I did not think you were gonna like Stage Fright. That's really
It's
cool
fun.
that you
Surprised
did.
me that he put it up number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I put mine at 3 just because of the fact it's so limited in range. But what do you guys think?
I'm gonna say, thanks for letting me go next, but I will say that I agree with Aaron. I originally was gonna put Knucklebones as my number 4, and Nightmare on Elm Street as my number 3. But I'm willing to flip those because of the things we've talked about too. And when I went back and listened to the podcast, the 100th episode, I really hated that whole babies can dream
Yeah.
bullshit. And that made me so angry. I was like, I was really mad about that.
Oh, and the fact that
So-
she's supposed to be pregnant and the
Oh, yeah.
baby's like,
Yeah.
it's
The baby's like
it's
a
just like
full
brand new pregnant,
great-
but now she's like 9 months pregnant
yeah.
with no baby bump
Yeah.
at all. Yeah, it's
So I agree with Aaron. I'm gonna not to piggyback, but I'm gonna say Aaron because I definitely wanted to put Stage Fright as my number 2, knowing that a lot of people wouldn't do that. But to be honest, that's my number 2.
It's fun.
And then Night of Something Strange, because Night of Something Strange, like I said, combined a little bit of what Knucklebones was and what Stage Fright was for me. And so, again, the rape, but it has to be number 1.
all right. No, that's great. I'm liking this. What do you say, Chris?
Well, I'm putting Stage Fright at number 4, unfortunately.
Okay.
And I mean, other than the fact there's that lull in between, and the song and dance wasn't bad, but it's just not my thing. I had a hard time picking between Nightmare on Elm Street and Knucklebones 2 and 3. The Legacy wanted me to put it at number 2, but I did enjoy Knucklebones, so I think I'm going 3 at Nightmare on Elm Street, Knucklebones, and then
Nice,
Night of Something Strange, because it just doesn't let up. It's just
It's
out of all-
relentless.
in all 4 of those, that was the best movie in my opinion.
Okay. Doug, I know you didn't see Knucklebones, but what's your
I'm giving Knucklebones 4 only because of the availability for me, but that's not a fair judgment. in talking with you, I've moved Nightmare on Elm Street to number 3. That might have been a little higher, but it was, like I said, nostalgia and Freddy. But it is really, if you think about just the overall, I hate that that's where they went with Alice's story, because they almost made her cooler than Nancy in part 4 for me.
How dare they?
But they almost did it, but they didn't finish it well.
That's a great point.
They finished Nancy in part 3. They did not finish Alice. They never finished her.
They never come back to the...
No. So that gets a 3. And then 2, I'm going to do Night of Something Strange, which might have been... I feel like that will be my number 1 after I watch it another 2 times. But Stage Fright is my number 1 because it surprised me. It's a musical and it's horror, and I really loved it the whole way through. And I was like, if I had a vinyl of those songs, I would have fun with it.
Those songs get so stuck in your head.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I watched it like just a few days ago, getting ready for this, and for like the next 2 days, I'm walking around my house saying, "I'm gay, but not in that way."
I did that too.
And I'm like,
I did that too.
it gets stuck in your head so much,
And
and it sticks with you.
The music production was good. I'm not a
It was
musical
good.
guy, so but I very much agree with Chris that the whole time watching, I was like, man, this isn't a slasher movie really, until it is, like when the killer's killing, but he never really kills kind of thing. So,
Right.
but yeah, it surprised me. I liked it. I know I'll watch that again. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, so if I take everything that we just into account and kind of do an average of where everything fell, I think let's see if we can all agree with this. Our final kind of ranking is Nightmare on Elm Street is 4, Knucklebones at 3, Stage Fright number 2, and the biggest consensus that our best of this season was Night of Something Strange.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
going to seem to be
Yeah.
close it
I
out.
agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. Hopefully that was entertaining for you guys. It was, whatever.
So there you go.
You always fast forward.
For the 2017-2018 season, Night of Something Strange was the best movie we saw.
Yeah, there you go.
Your certificate is in the mail.
I gotta say, I'm very happy. Like, I'm so almost proud, even though I have nothing to do with it. But I'm so proud that Stage Fright got such a good
I
review.
know.
So high as it was, I wasn't expecting that.
Me either.
But yay for Stage Fright. But now that that's all done, let's actually get to our real movie, the movie for this week, 976 Evil 2,
The movie proper.
the movie proper.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did 976 Evil, and we had
Good job saying that.
Thank
I know
you.
that was
Yeah.
a struggle.
it was
Yeah, before we started recording, Aaron could not get the name right. He was like 967, 87309. He could
Yeah.
not get 976
Yeah.
at all. 3 numbers.
Yeah. I even started singing Jesse's Girl,
Yeah.
and people were confused. So yeah, it was a big mess. But that movie we did, the podcast, we had Marshall, Coffee Dog, and Chris, and we're like, well, we need to bring everyone back together to do the sequel. And of course, Sarah's been so awesome and instrumental in Horrible Horror. We gotta have Sarah too.
And I watched the original
Oh, did you?
9/7. I loved that movie. I was really disappointed that it angered you so much. Marshall. I was like, okay, I mean that was awkward sex, and yeah, that didn't make sense. And fish fell from the sky, but I really laughed.
But
a
I
lot.
can look
thought it
over
was-
You
that.
know, fish
I-
falling from the sky.
I
It's
thought
okay.
it was pretty funny. I don't know. I kind of liked it. I just kept saying it's the 80s. You use street toughs more than
Yes, I did.
can count.
Yes, I did, and Doug
I-
even commented on that. Yes,
It was a great episode to listen to, and that was a great thing to watch. So thanks for inviting me back.
Yeah, it was a fun episode. Yeah, it was our first Fatal 4-Way.
I was gonna say first forward.
Oh, yeah.
Fearsome foursome. Now we have a petrifying pentagon.
That-
Anybody else? Petrifying pentagon? All right.
I'll go along with it.
I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Sarah could be like our manager.
I gotta get some boob.
Like in
implants or
wrestling?
something. I gotta-
No way. She's part of the team.
Yeah.
She's part of the team. She's not a manager. She's part of the petrifying pentagon.
So we're like a stable.
Yes.
Yes, there you go.
I do
First
have
table.
a Krav Maga koozie here. So just watch out.
She
She will
fights dirty.
kick all of our asses.
Only because I'll just kick you in the nuts. I mean, I wouldn't do that.
And really, that's all you gotta do. I mean, so 976 Evil 2. It's released in the summer of 1991, written by 4 people. So you know right now we're in for a good start.
A lot
We've
of
got
cooks in the kitchen.
Eric Andrew, Rick Glassman, Brian Hegeland, and Rhett Topham, and directed by our friend coming back to the show one more time, Mr. Jim Wynorski.
Jim Wynorski.
Jimmy.
Now this guy, he's 103 credits, directing credits alone. And just like our Hall of Famer David DiCaprio, he has done a ton of softcore porn movies under various names like H.R. Blueberry, Sam Peppermint, Rip Masters, and others, and it just goes on and on.
I love H.R. Blueberry. That's my favorite.
Blueberry. I love that one, and Rip Masters.
Rip Masters is good too. But
so-
the Blueberry is just so
I know, it's
weird.
so weird. I stand corrected because when we did, I think it was Breeders, or the last David DiCaprio movie we did, I was talking about how I was channel surfing on Showtime and I found a bunch of these softcore movies, and that it wasn't DiCaprio's, it was Wynorski shit.
Oh.
Because
yeah.
it was Blueberry. It was H.R. Blueberry's work.
Yeah,
We're
I
like,
listened
oh.
to that. I listened to that podcast, and yeah, Marshall, way to cover.
Yeah.
Research for the show, right?
Get your facts right on your softcore porn
Sorry,
directors.
those two guys have so many damn aliases. I can't keep them straight. But besides the softcore porn, he has done movies like Ghoulies 4, Munchie Strikes Back, Sorority House Massacre 2, Return of Swamp Thing, and one of our personal favorites here on the show, Chopping Mall, was his big.
Oh, that was
thing.
Sarah was on
Clam.
that.
I love that movie so
Clam.
much. That was great.
The cast for this, we'll talk about a few people, but first off, our main guy, Spike, he's played by Patrick O'Brien. He's the same guy who was in the first movie.
He's back. He's back.
Spike.
He's the only returning character. Then we have our main girl, Robin, played by Debbie James. Really nothing mentioned about her except for some fun facts that she was a Miss USA finalist.
Ooh.
And she was the winner. She won one of the episodes of Star Search. That old show way back in the
That
day.
was
I think
not-
she was also in Bon Jovi's Bon Jovi music video.
She might have been in a music video. Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Then
Chris knows his Bon Jovi. Come on, Marshall. I mean, don't gloss over the Jovi.
Somebody named Taylor in the movie is played by Philip McKeon. I only wrote him down because he also was in Ghoulies 4 and Return to Horror High, so some other movies we've done. And let's see, two more people I mentioned is Terrell, played by George Buckflowers. Now, this motherfucker's got 159 credits, including classics as Back to the Future 1 and 2, They Live, The Fog, Wishmaster, Village of the Damned, Waxwork 2, Puppet Master 2, Cheerleader Camp, Pumpkinhead, Maniac Cop, and he also played the janitor in Sorority Babes and the Slimeball Bolorama.
Yes, he did.
Nice.
Is this the bum? The homeless guy? Okay,
It's the
yeah.
janitor.
Oh, okay. No. In this movie, he was a janitor.
He's
the janitor.
Or the janitor.
He's the homeless guy in Back to the Future.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, now that you
Back to the
okay,
Future,
okay.
yeah, he's the
I knew
homeless
he
guy.
looked familiar. I didn't look
And
him up.
he
but-
his what he would say, because he's in all three of them. Crazy drunk driver.
She was in Bon Jovi's Bad Medicine.
Oh, well, thank you. There you go.
Yeah.
And lastly, we have Agnes, who you never even hear her name, but she has a name played by Brigitte Nielsen.
Say that again.
Oh, yeah.
Brigitte.
Brigitte. She got 39 credits. Now, I didn't realize this at the time, but she was Red Sonja in Red Sonja, which I loved that.
You didn't
movie.
know that?
I love
Because
Red
I was
Sonja.
so used to seeing her as a blonde, and when I was a kid growing up, like she was a redhead. I was like, oh man, I loved it.
I'm stunned that
Yeah.
you didn't know this.
I remember that movie, but how was that? Was that Conan's sister?
No,
Or-
it is the barbarian-esque movie, and Arnold was in
Arnold
it
was
as,
in it as a barbarian.
as a barbarian. He wasn't Conan.
It wasn't a Conan movie.
He was just a barbarian.
He's
Really?
not Conan in that movie?
No.
No.
He was.
I don't think
You
so.
guys
Yeah.
just changed everything.
Sorry.
I
This
thought
movie
those were
tonight.
just movies that crossed over.
No, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's not Conan in that
Wow.
movie.
Of course, they piggybacked on the fact
Gotta
that
look
he
it up.
that
Was Conan?
was Conan, but it wasn't Conan the Barbarian.
Wow.
It
But
was just
I loved that movie as a kid. One of my favorites. She was also in Beverly Hills Cop 2, Chained, Heat 2, and then some Sylvester Stallone movies. She was in Cobra and Rocky 4.
well, she was married.
Married, yes. Yeah, thank you.
our-
She was married to Sylvester Stallone
Oh,
from
that's not-
85 to 87, and Rocky 4 came out in 1985. Another thing interesting about her, I thought was really cool. It never happen, but think about it. It'd be pretty cool. The now bankrupt New World Studios hired her to pose for promotional photos highlighting the Marvel Comics character She-Hulk in 1989 to distribute as a possible movie. So the pictures apparently garnished a lot of fan interest, but obviously it failed to never get enough financial backers at the time because, obviously at the time comic books weren't the thing. But she was gonna be, I guess, She-Hulk. That's interesting.
Well, she's like 6'2".
Yeah, she's a tall girl.
She's
a big
tall.
bitch.
She's big. And please, while we're still on the subject, does anyone remember the reality TV show Flavor of
I was
Love?
gonna say,
Is she the one who's like married to Flavor
Yeah,
Flav?
I was about to say, didn't she
Yeah.
marry Flavor Flav?
Yeah.
That was actually a spinoff from the. They were together on that Celebrity, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Celebrity
But
Big Brother,
how
Celebrity Apprentice.
ridiculous-
It was
I
a
don't know.
VH1 show. Where they remember China was on that.
Mini
too?
Me was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
so
women
Rest
It
in
wasn't the same
peace.
season.
Right,
It
R.I.P..
wasn't the same season.
Okay.
Mini Me was on it with China. Remember, and China was
Oh,
fucked up
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah,
Was it like
yeah.
one of those like B-list things, like Survival of the B-list artists? 'Cause I think
Something
like Ron
like
Jeremy did an
that.
episode, like one of the, and,
Yeah.
like Stephen
Adrian
Baldwin
Curry
or something.
was in that.
Yeah,
on
I
that
forget what it's
show,
called, but I
with,
remember it. Yeah.
Peter Brady. They ended up
Okay,
fucking hooking up.
stop. I just want to say that she's married to fucking Flavor
Yeah.
Flav.
I think for like 5 seconds.
How hilarious
quite-
is that?
Quite the step down from Stallone.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
So let's move into the movie itself now. The movie opens with this girl swimming in a giant, like, Olympic-sized pool.
I love the way it opens. It's just an underground shot of the water, and she dives in. I like that opening. It's kind of cool.
And as she swims around, the phone hanging on the wall begins to ring. And we cut to the girl. She's taking a shower in the locker room now. The lights begin to flicker. The girl thinks it's someone named Nancy. So she's like, Nancy, is that you? Blah, blah, blah. Not getting a response. She throws on a shirt and a towel and starts to walk around the locker room looking for whoever is messing around with the lights. And she does take a minute or two to stop and get her panties out of her locker and put them on.
The longest panty put on ever.
They were those silky, like
High-waist,
high-waisted panties that you used to wear in the 90s. I mean, you guys didn't used to wear them, but
Working
you know.
out in locker rooms, like, that's the most awkward thing is trying to get your underwear on as fast as you can.
Yep.
Because it's like, my dick and balls are hanging out. And it's like, I just want to put them on real fast. She takes her time.
Well, she is the only one
nobody
there.
there.
There's
yeah.
nobody there. And
true.
I will say that this movie then, of course, in that scene, hooks everybody with the full frontal scene.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Was it full frontal or just boobs?
Well, just boobs.
Just boobs. Okay.
I was
I think you
paying
get ass and
He
boobs.
would know.
Ass and boobs. Ass and
Ass and
titties.
titties.
Ass and titties.
all you need.
Titties.
I gotta admit though, when she pulled them out of the bag at first, I know that Sir explained that they were silky panties,
They were
but they looked
satiny.
dirty. I was like, are those dirty panties? I'm just gonna keep saying panties.
Well, she probably wore them earlier that day and then took them off to put her swimsuit
know.
on. So they're probably anyway. I don't know why we're talking about that,
Hashtag
but
panties.
now she pulls on a towel that was like hanging up next to her, like on like a shower stall, and staying behind her is some man in the shadows. Now we don't get a good look at the man's face yet, but the girl sees him and she hauls ass out of the locker room screaming. She's screaming for help. She runs down some hallway. She reaches the double doors that lead out. Oh, they're locked. So boop, to the other end of the whole end she goes. This hallway is lined with lockers too, by the way. So at this point, we're like, okay, I guess it's a high school.
It
like
feels
a
like
high
she's
school.
running around in a high school.
Yeah.
This doesn't
Yeah.
feel like a college.
Exactly.
With an Olympic-sized pool.
Yeah,
What?
we'll find out in a minute. It's supposed to be a community college, but it
Right.
looks like a goddamn high school with an Olympic pool in it, which
I
is
was gonna
bullshit.
say, what community college can afford a pool
that big.
size?
Yeah, fuck Swixer, don't have it.
And I have to comment the way she's running is so awkward. Did anyone else notice
Yes.
this? Because
no shoes on.
she's got her shirt on, she's got her panties on, so she's got clothes. And I understand you don't have any shoes on, but she's like scooting her little feet just like as fast as you can, like shuffling. She's basically shuffle running. It's
Duck
the
walk.
weirdest like run, and she's screaming the whole time. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. It's really awkward looking the whole time.
No, Aaron, it's totally true. It is a weird looking run. But so she gets another set of double doors, and they open, but only partially. And she tries to squeeze through like this opening, but she can't make it. So she sees the shadow of the man at the end of the hallway coming towards her. She takes off running down another hallway. So lots of fucking hallways for you hallway lovers out there. And she runs into the community college's theater, which is set up and currently playing Faust. Which, of course, is actually kind of suiting for this because Faust is about a man who makes a deal with the devil, and the whole premise of the first 976 Evil is you kind of make a deal with the devil. Although it really has no part in this movie really later coming up.
I gotta admit, when she runs in there and she runs up, that shot is really good. It's a good shot.
She runs up to a stage and behind the curtains, and she finds herself on the set, which, by the way, is way too fucking big to be on the stage we just saw her run up on. It's huge.
And it's live. It's like a live set.
Yeah.
Like everything's going, all the
there's
smoke
tons of-
effects.
There's
Everything.
full pyrotechnics
Yeah,
going on.
it's like somebody, like the prop master's like, oh, fuck it,
Just he
just
leaves
left
everything on.
everything. And it's like 10 o'clock at night or later, who knows. So yeah, there's lightning flashing, thunder's roaring in this theater. And that's when the curtains open up by themselves and the girl gets bathed in spotlights. She tries to run off the stage, but she gets blocked by this is where the giant erupting pyro blasts of like techno, like it just fireballs pluming up in front of her. And again, I was like, what fucking school has pyro in their stage play?
Like that, well done.
Yeah, like this is like WWE entrance pyro. Like you expect like Undertaker Kane to be coming out. Yeah, just like it's ridiculous. Was what's going on with
Also,
this.
I would say that Faust is like a 5-act opera.
Mm-hmm.
It is like one of those operas that not even like the biggest opera companies put on because it is so extensive. 5 acts.
5 acts.
That's like 4 hours.
Yeah, it's huge.
Come to the community
And
college.
mind you, this is a community.
Yeah.
They're above the rest.
What's the fucking tuition at this community college? I mean, how much does it cost to go there?
And I gotta say, the stage looks awesome.
It does look good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Broadway level shit going on right there. So now we see the drunken janitor who starts to waking up from
who's passed out in the fucking aisles. Like he must have been like sweeping the theater and been like
mop bucket.
bucket.
He's got the mop bucket right there behind him.
He just falls asleep on the floor. I love that guy.
Like, I just look like a good place to take a nap
And
right
he's got a bottle of booze with him.
Yep.
Well, you know, he's earning that paycheck. Fuck.
Yeah.
I get paid by the hour. I'll fucking mouth this when I want to.
Yeah.
So the girl now she gets knocked by a fire burst, like knocked back by it, and lands on like this slanted rock. And coming out of the fog in front of her is the man we just saw. And he's an older man wearing like a suit and like an overcoat that looks more like a cape on him.
Very nice.
And when I say older man, I don't mean 56. I mean this guy's like senior citizen, like about old.
No,
I
he's
would say
probably
maybe like 60.
Yeah, I'd probably say 60.
Which is senior citizen, isn't it? 65 is when you start getting that discount.
The discount.
I'd say he's 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very old man to be in a
He's an old guy.
killer
He's
in
an
a
old
horror.
man.
He's an older guy.
So he comes out saying some cryptic bullshit, which I was like, what? I don't know, fuck it. And he then pulls on a rope, and this prop stalactite falls from the ceiling. Yes, there are stalactites hanging from the ceiling of this theater too, by the way.
Well, it's supposed to be in a cave. I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
Like Chris is like,
Sharp
hold
it.
on, they are in a cave.
Yeah. But
I mean,
they got
fire, I
real
mean-
stalactites and hung them up there, like shipped them in.
these seem to be like paper mache
Sure, it's
at
just paper
best.
mache.
Yeah.
Yeah, every paper mache. But the stalactite falls from the ceiling and just impales her through the chest, and the blood sprays everywhere. She's dead. For what? Who would hang this in the theater? Like that would be so dangerous.
So, at any point, do they mention a relationship between these two people, or why he's chasing her?
No,
no, yes,
no.
okay, thank you.
There's
I
nothing.
just wanted to make sure I didn't miss something.
No, there is no connection at all. Seeing the girl die, the janitor's like, "Fuck this." He starts crawling away, and the old man says to the dead girl, "Welcome to my hell," and just walks away into the fog of the stage. So we cut now to some road out in the middle of nowhere where we follow someone riding a motorcycle and rolling the opening credits. And the man rides up to the Mad Dog Inn.
Dude, just really quick, that scene is so long.
It's
It
so
is.
long.
He's riding that. He's riding the shit out of that motorcycle too.
Yeah,
It's
not
like-
even. It's not even like a proper Harley. It's like a Sportster. It's
Yeah.
like the smaller.
But the music
version.
is like T2
Yeah,
and spaghetti westerns
it really
like,
is.
put together. It's fucking awesome.
Hey,
So
what was the name of that bar? It was the.
Mad Dog Inn. It also advertises live news.
Live nudes.
Inside, we see that the motorcycle rider is our old friend Spike. And Spike takes a seat at the bar.
Spike.
He orders fries and a beer, and he watches the news report reporting on the death of a girl at the local community college.
He says fries and a beer. Not like any specific beer. Not that just
Yeah,
fries.
but beer. Yeah.
I'm going to comment on it now. No one eats food except for fries
I
in
was
this
gonna-
movie.
I was waiting to the diner scene to bring that up, but yes, it's like every time somebody orders food, it's just fries.
Just fries.
I've never been anywhere that have even seen me go, just give me the fries.
Dude,
man. Just
nobody
just
eats
fries.
food. No burgers, no salads. It's just fries.
Just fries and
Nothing
beer.
but fries.
You know,
beer, and coffee.
somebody on set, every time they showed up, like the caterer was like, I got fries. So they were like, fuck it, let's use it in the movie.
I really wanted fries after this
Yeah.
movie.
Me
too.
I was like, damn, I need some McDonald's or something. Fries.
I'm so glad. Yeah, you guys picked up on that too. That's awesome. So the news report says, the girl dead at the community college. And the report says this is like the 5th victim of the Slate River serial killer. Spike locks eyes with the stripper that's dancing on one of the crappiest stripper stages I've ever seen.
I didn't see any live nude, by the way.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
nudes.
no shit.
Where's the nudes?
Yeah.
After a moment, like this red glow fills the screen, and the stripper says to Spike in like a deep, what I guess supposed to be
Demon,
demonic voice,
yeah.
like "Go back," and then the lights return to normal, and the payphone starts to ring on the wall.
With the weirdest ring. And this,
Yeah, let's talk about this ring. Let's just get this out of the way. Go ahead.
It sounds like lightning striking and the phone ringing and also like computer sound effects all in one.
yeah, it's like I definitely get like the old like dial. It's like almost like a dial-up
It's,
modem or
you
something.
can't
It's
even
so
like
weird.
mimic it because
No.
there's so many sounds going on at one time. It doesn't sound like a phone ringing. It
No,
just
I
sounds-
agree with you. It's the weirdest phone ring I've ever heard. I don't get it.
Can I ask a question? Do you remember? Oh, I'm sorry, I want to go back to like 9760, like the original. Do you remember where Spike left off? I mean, do you remember what happened? I don't know.
Well, I
That
remember
floor
the
opened up in
floor,
the
the
house.
pit to hell opened
Right,
up,
and it took his cousin away, and then he just.
and he just kind of like,
So has he
All
just
right.
been fighting evil this
yeah,
entire time?
they
I think
don't.
he's been running from evil the entire
well,
time.
that's-
I think
that's
evil's
kinda
been
what
Well, we don't
chasing
know if
him.
he's running from it or if he's like maybe like trying to be like a Van Helsing. Is he chasing it down?
Yeah, that's
See,
what I
that's-
was curious.
or
That's
is
what
he
I was
just
curious about too.
Mind his business.
Because this is the 5th killing. Is he driving to this? Is he heading there because he's like, evil's afoot?
Yeah.
I need to go stop it
Right.
in my leather pants.
It's the leather pants.
I took it as he was conflicted about needing to go back, which is why the stripper was
Well,
like,
I think
go
it gets,
back home.
I think this
And,
gets
like,
answered in a moment.
Yeah, I
Continue,
guess,
Marshall.
Sorry.
So anyway, yeah, Spike asks the bartender if anyone's going to get the phone. The bartender's like, what phone? And nobody else hears his phone ring, so just Spike hears the phone ringing. So Spike answers the phone, and which, by the way, are you fucking kidding me? At this point, I'm like, Spike, you know about this shit.
Yeah.
Why would you answer the phone? You would think they'd just be like, fuck that, I'm out. I'm not answering the magical mystery ringing phone that I'm the only one that hears this thing ringing. But anyway, he picks it up, and he gets the old 976 evil horoscope greeting, which is like, out of the darkness and into light. Dial something 666 for a horoscope tonight or some crap
And
like
it
that.
automatically dials 666 on its
Yes.
own.
So one thing I wanted to ask
Yeah.
was, and that made me back to the pool. So when she's swimming and the phone rings, so these demons or whatever you're supposed to believe that make the phone ring, they're trying to get her to answer. Like, what? Do you get what I'm saying? What's the point?
Why?
Could
Yeah.
she have like joined them and
Yeah,
not got
'cause-
killed by the? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was
In
like,
the first one, they do a
I
better
understand-
job of explaining because you see other people who have dialed the number and I guess made
Yes.
their deal with the
Right.
devil, and then they come back and kill him.
That was the thing in the first one.
Yeah.
You had to call the number first, and then the phone would constantly be trying to find you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you had to like follow through the what because Spike. I mean, in the first one, Spike calls the number. He steals like some biker gloves, but he returns them. He's like,
Right.
and so he doesn't like
And
make
now it's
his.
just now it's almost like the demons are just desperate, like just ringing phones
Yeah.
everywhere. hoping
yeah,
somebody to
like
pick it
just
up.
to
Pick it
have
up,
it in the
pick it up.
sequel.
Yeah,
like,
we'll knock this out right.
Anyway.
There's like no connection between the first movie and the second movie
Not
other than
really.
a
Other than-
phone and Spike.
Right.
That's about the only connection these
And
two movies have.
Satan.
And the number.
And the number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's that number again, Aaron?
976 evil. Yes, I had to
Good
concentrate.
So yeah, he picks up the phone and like I said, he gets the reading. And it tells Spike something about his friends dying and that he should revisit it again. And Spike tells the phone to go fuck yourself, hangs up. And right as he hangs up, Spike is bathed in this bright light in the shape of the Iron Cross as holy music plays. And to top it off, his arms are stretched out to his side. He's got one hand resting on the phone and the other resting on a bar or something. So yeah, Spike is bathed in light of the Iron Cross with his arms out. Basically, Spike is now biker Jesus with a feathered mullet.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. So he's now been anointed by the biker bar Iron Cross to go and fight evil.
Yeah.
Like, that's he's like, this is my mission. What the fuck was that?
I know.
That's so weird.
It's like, what is happening?
It was so strange.
Nope.
So Spike rides off on his iron horse back to Slate River. And we cut to a cop car pulling up to the police station where dozens of reporters stand around. The sheriff pulls the old man in the suit out of the back of his car, hauls him into the station, and we learn that the old man is the dean to the community college, which, like, 1W freaks the fuck out saying, oh my God, the whole town's going to flip out once they learn that the suspect's the dean of the community college.
Do you know who that is?
Are you fucking kidding me? They act like this dean, like, runs the town or something. It's like,
Like, he's a bigwig.
Yeah, I thought he was like the mayor.
yeah, it's
I was like, oh.
that's what they're acting like. Oh, it's the mayor or that's the senator or something. No, it's a dean of a shitty little school.
I was gonna say this is not fucking Yale.
Yeah.
Like the dean of Harvard
or
something.
USC or whatever the fuck it is. It's fucking a community college. That dude's probably got a bottle of booze in his fucking drawer and just sits there.
He
in his
did
office.
before he called the number.
He did.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was.
Also, I want to take a minute. We have to, the hair in this movie is on point. It's on fleek, if you want to say the millennials are saying.
Oh my God, the hair is amazing.
Because the sheriff's feathered mullet is.
Oh, God.
It's a gorgeous lion's mane of mullety goodness. It's insane.
I'm pretty sure the amount of Aquanet that was used in this movie has put a hole in the ozone layer.
Global warming can be traced back to this movie. It's this movie's fault.
It's funny because the first movie is definitely 80s, and you guys kept saying like all the time, well, it's the 80s, it's the 80s. But this was like 91,
It was
92.
released in 91.
It's
Could have
like-
been filmed in 89,
It's
90.
that perfect awkward transition between 80s and 90s.
Yes.
Hair metal is everywhere.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
It's fucking. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Beautiful.
our main girl, Robin's hair, it's huge and spray painted out the
Blonde.
shit.
Oh, it's
Spike's
great.
hair is feathered and mullety. The sheriff's got a
The
lion's
sheriff. I just want. Can we talk about the sheriff for a split
he's got
second?
Sure, let's talk
fine
about that
head of hair,
shit.
That man
He's
does.
angry.
mane. He
He's
is eternally angry.
He has got such
Everything.
emotional problems. He doesn't know how to manage them
He
correctly.
does not.
throwing shit around.
He's just constantly screaming and yelling. I love him so much.
And just fuming. Just like, even when he's like not saying anything, he's almost like shaking with anger.
Where the fuck is my coffee?
He's just so pissed all the time.
Yeah.
I do love it. So, they arrest the dean. They're marching him up the stairs. The sheriff's yelling at the bozo cop who's supposed to be holding back the press.
Yeah.
And the press is walking right past him and is saying, get out of here. Nothing to see here. Hold back. And they're all just marching right past him. Which I thought was kind of
yeah,
funny.
that was funny.
So now we meet our main girl, Robin. This is where we finally meet her. She pulls up to the police station, goes inside, and it turns out she knows one of the deputies by the name of Jody. And they banter, they talk, but he fills her, and he fills her in on what's happening. Robin takes a seat to wait for someone. And while she's sitting there, she's flipping through a magazine, and she finds the old 976 Evil business card for the hotline. And she takes it, and like absentmindedly just like puts it in her pocket. And now Robin bumps into Dean Grubeck. Now Dean Grube is the dean of the college. That's the name, Grubeck. He's being escorted off the elevator by all the cops, but they let him close enough to her for him to grab her hand.
Yeah. It's so weird. They're escorting him off the elevator. They should be like, let's get him the fuck out of
And
here.
why is his hand be handcuffed in front? They always handcuff you with your hands behind your back.
Regardless, there should be, like, they give him enough time to go, oh, hello, Robin. It's so nice to see you. Like, another, okay, we're marching you off to the jail cell, you son of a bitch. Let's just wait for you to talk to you.
Yeah, I know. It's like, take all the time you want, man.
And he's like perfectly calm. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
He's being arrested for murder. And oh, hello, Robin.
Well, that's one thing
How
I
are
do.
you?
That's one thing I do love about the dean. Cold as ice.
Yeah.
Yes.
This guy is cool cool cucumber.
So as soon as he touches Robin's hand, she has like this vision of the girl at the pool being killed.
Hold on. When she touches his hand, it's like fucking Mike Tyson runs out and throws a right hook.
Yeah, I was getting to
hell.
that. I was getting to that. I mean, the vision is so violent. It knocks her on her ass and like unconscious. Not just on the ground. She falls unconscious from this thing.
He touches her hand, and I swear it's like invisible Mike Tyson's like, kiss the floor. Bam! And just like uppercuts her.
Was that Mike Tyson or Dusty Rhodes?
Well,
It did sound like Dusty Rhodes.
Sound like Dusty.
It was a good combination of the two.
so, yeah, I need to work on that one. Kiss the flow.
That's definitely Dusty.
Definitely Dusty Rhodes.
That's Dusty.
Anyway, she goes down.
She goes down hard.
Yeah, she does.
Invisible Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
She wakes up in the office of the police psychologist who
Is
also
that what
haven't.
he was?
Yes.
Okay, I couldn't figure out what his role was.
Yeah, he's
exactly.
the sheriff's shrink or
This
something
is
like
her
that.
father,
And it's her
right?
father. Yes.
And
Who is
he's
a poor man's Weekend at Bernie's.
I got that too.
Yes!
It looked like the guy from Weekend at Bernie's.
Was that stash real? Or
I
was
don't
it
know.
fake? I couldn't tell. I was like, real stash?
He was a poor
Fake
man.
stash?
Weekends at Bernie's, though.
So they chat about Grubeck for a while and being, him being the serial killer, and we learned that Robin used to work for Grubeck in his office at the school, so they have some kind of connection.
Can we, just you talking about how prominent he is, this goes against almost every cop movie you'll ever watch. Like, immediately, like, the chief who's so crazy, the psychologist, everybody immediately believes he's the killer.
Yes.
Right.
Isn't that a little, like, most movies, they try to play, like, he is a prominent member of community. There's no way he's the killer. And then the good guys have to try to convince the town that this is the bad guy.
Well,
in this one, they're all just like, yeah, he's fucked.
I think they blew over that so quickly because they kind of covered that, I guess, when Jody, was like, oh my God, that's the dean. The town's going to flip out. It can't be the dean or something like that.
But they're like, we've got a credible witness. I'm like, do you? Like,
Yeah,
this
like,
guy was
dude,
like
just have
drunk
one
on the
witness.
Drunk
job
off
and
his ass.
like
That's
sleeping
a
in the
great
seats.
point. I mean, he's passed out in the aisles.
Is he
I mean,
a credible
what did
witness?
I
he
think
really
they actually
see?
say that later. Like, and there's a scene where they talk about the witness. They go, oh yeah, your witness is a drunk guy. I do think they address that later. But no, you make a good point. Like they just like, boom, there's a killer right there
It's not
right
like
off the
they
bat.
have DNA evidence or anything
Yeah.
like that. That like, but like they go from like to like really, he's dead.
Yes.
He's going to
Yeah,
jail
yeah,
for
yeah,
life.
yeah.
Like he's a serial killer. Like yeah, it's a little.
So. Oh, I just want to. This is where Grubeck is being interrogated by, as we already said, the eternally angry Sheriff Stone.
So good.
Grubeck demands his lawyer and his phone call, and he's given his phone call, and he's left alone to do it.
He's almost more upset about the phone call than the lawyer.
Yeah, he really wants his phone call. And again, the sheriff is like so angry that God damn it, he has rights. It's like he's like just. He might as well like just break the table on his way out of this fucking interrogation room.
Even the douchebag deputy that comes in.
Yeah. So Grubeck calls the 976 Evil hotline, telling it that he needs help and that he's been a loyal follower, will continue to be a follower and be obedient, all that. And so Grubeck's told that there may be someone more powerful than him, but in the end, the voice on the phone grants him more power to feed his fire. Now, they say there might be somebody more powerful than him, but that really never comes back. Like nobody else has ever seen calling this hotline or tempting fate with this. It's a pointless line that you really like. Oh, they're gonna build us something's out there, and then they just say fuck it and just totally.
It says that the phone says that to
Yeah,
him?
the hotline says there may be one more powerful than you, but I'll grant the power you know.
Do you think they're trying to get Spike?
Yeah, I was gonna say, are they talking about Spike?
You just
That's
saying
the
that.
way
I forgot about
thought.
that line.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the movie, you'd have to think that, but there's really no way that still really doesn't even make sense to me. I mean,
No,
once
I say this hotline's someone else has taken over, and it's a very weak hotline.
It's second rate.
they sold it off, and yeah, the new owners,
yeah.
new management is really kind of just.
They're trying to cut costs.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that sweet guy who did those horse races. He was just like, "Hey, you called me."
Yeah. So Jody enters, telling Grubeck that his time's up. Grubeck hangs up the phone, hands the phone to Jody, and once Jody grabs the receiver of the phone, he gets electrocuted by a bolt of blue electricity that travels up through the phone.
The sweet blue electricity.
I knew Aaron was gonna get. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Oh, Aaron's gonna love the blue electricity." There it is.
Fuck yeah, I did.
The blue electricity.
Do you remember the blue light in the first one that couldn't hold my dick?
Yeah.
That was neon, not electricity.
I do love that Jody shakes his hand
For like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's the longest
Ow.
handshake.
How?
So we cut to Spike driving up to Cadillac Jack's roadside diner, where he finds Robin sitting alone and eating a plate of French fries. And like this is where I had my notes once with people and
Yeah.
fries, but
This bothered me, and I'm sure it bothered Sarah too. Go ahead.
Spike just sits down next to her, never doesn't know her at all, just sits right down, strikes up a conversation with her, and shares the fries. She's like, "Here, eat my fries."
Yeah, he walks in and he's just looking around. There's open table.
Oh,
I know.
there's a bar, there's a whole countertop there.
She glances at him, and he's like, "That's my cue."
And he saunters over in his sweet leather pants and leather jacket.
pants. Apparently, he's causing a stir.
Yeah, and now imagine in real life, this isn't high school. When that did happen, in high school, like, kids just kind of said, this, like, right now, if you were in a fucking diner, like, Sarah, you're just sitting around, and some dude just sits there
Yeah.
wearing nothing but leather pants and, like, a leather jacket. It would be weird as fuck.
I'd
Yeah.
like, get lost.
Yeah.
motherfucker. Like, I'd be looking around the restaurant like, is anybody
Someone
gonna
help me.
help me out here?
But apparently Spike is so hot that every woman in this diner is like their pants just got moist.
Dude, they are
That
called.
feather-
They're fanning themselves up like, oh,
He's
boy,
causing a scene.
I got the vapors.
That feathered mullet and that 5 o'clock shadow.
Dude, he is.
Which, by the way, how does he keeps that mullet he's wearing a helmet, which I will say, at least they gave him a helmet for the bike,
Right.
which safety first.
A laser
but he
helmet.
pulls off,
Yeah.
he pulls off this helmet, and his hair is perfect every time. It's
He's
Funny, like
fucking.
he's wearing like the full leather gear.
Oh, yeah.
Driving the Harley, and he's got the full face helmet.
Yeah,
And it
with the
doesn't- it
flip
didn't
up down
really-
visor.
That would be more of like a crotch rocket type situation. in my
That's
opinion.
the
You
type
know
of
what I
helmet
mean?
you
Like,
would see more on a crotch rocket. But you know
Right,
what?
right.
I will
Like-
say,
If he's riding across country or whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah,
When I rode my bike, when I had the motorcycle, my helmet was one like it was black with the visor. It was like that one with the face protection too. But
Yeah.
And
But I
you
get-
and
but
you
you-
wore it town to town when you were fighting demons?
All the
I
time.
can't remember. I thought. That's I couldn't remember. I've talked to you about this.
yeah,
but
I mean we had that conversation a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you for forgetting. But yeah,
Well, the other thing is that she's sitting there eating fries and shit, and like she's in full workout gear. Like she tells him, she's like, "I'm waiting for my ride to the gym."
yeah.
Go to the gym.
But I mean,
Oh,
You
yeah.
munch- you munching down a bunch of fries before you go to the gym.
well, she's gonna burn it off on the the
It's
80s
fuel.
stepmaster.
She's gonna get a cramp, and she's gonna be pissed that she ate the fucking fries.
It's the early 90s. That's what.
And also the fact that it's so like not only does he sit down, she's okay. She also offers the stranger her food.
I know.
Eat-
She's like,
eat my
try
food.
it. Here you go. I'm gonna
Um,
share my food with you, stranger.
Eventually, Robin, her friends arrive. She leaves. And Spike finds the 976 evil business card that Robin left behind on the table.
Oh god.
And he's like, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
And we jump to Grubeck in his jail cell. And suddenly, for no reason, he's just laying on his cot and his body begins to twitch, shake, and convulse. And it goes on and on and on. And then his body just goes limp. And then we see his ghost or his spirit rise out of his body.
I called it his shadow self.
So the Grubeck
Nice.
ghost astral projection Doctor Strange bullshit thing
Yeah.
Oh, kinda
walks
like that.
through.
Jedi-ish. Come on, guys. Give
Yeah.
him some
It
credit.
was
You
the
know.
same like blue hue.
Well,
as
when
the
he
Jedi.
disappears, yes, but
as
when
the-
he's
yeah.
just bopping around, he's not glowing blue.
I actually like the Doctor Strange reference there. That's pretty
Yeah.
Pretty good. His soul.
So he walks
Doctor
through the.
Strange in theaters right now.
Yeah, right. He walks through the iron bars of the cell and just disappears in this blue light that's there. Just not, yeah, just like this.
He just vanishes.
He turns into blue light and disappears. We cut to Robin and her two friends, Keith and Paula, in some park talking about Grubeck, where some band's about to set up and playing on some stage in a park, which this was weird.
It seems like an unnecessary expense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you want extras.
Why
but
would you pay to have like to shoot these scenes with these extras setting up for a show that never gets played?
Yeah.
Like it just seems like a real big waste.
I
I'm
thought-
I'm pretty sure that money could have gone to other things.
Maybe the special effects budget or something.
For the story.
But Robin and her friends, they go their separate ways, and we see the ghost of Grubeck watching her as Robin walks off by herself. Upright Spike on his
Wait,
motorcycle.
really quick.
All right.
The ghost of Grubeck is watching Robin.
Yes.
Robin suspects. She's like, someone's watched me. As she turns to look, Grubeck decide like he
The
jumps,
ghost.
the ghost of Grubeck like doesn't disappear. He jumps behind a tree.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Thank you.
Like he doesn't like that's not magical.
Yeah.
That's not spooky or he's just hiding behind a tree like a normal perv.
Yeah, that's
at
just
least
creepy.
he could have jumped up into the fucking tree.
Yeah.
He hides behind it.
He just hides behind a tree. It's so lame. Like you're a spooky astral projection of yourself, and you just still hide behind
Can
trees.
you do something cool with that ability? No.
No, you just hide behind a tree.
That's a great fucking point. It's ridiculous. Like I said, Spike rides up. He finds Robin and he talks to her about Grubeck and he brings up the 976
Now,
evil
real quick,
card.
I'm not trying to interrupt.
Go ahead.
When he rides up, a lot of things you can't believe in movies because it's too coincidental. He rides up into a park in a town he doesn't know in the dark. The first person he says, "Do you know Robin?" So, and the guy or what literally fucking goes, "She's right over there. She just happens to be walking."
Yeah.
There's no dude.
Do you
there's
mean
no way
Milli
this could
Vanilli?
happen.
Do you mean Milli Vanilli?
Yes. It
Yeah.
was unbelievable. I was like, he
Did he
just
have
found her.
braids?
His outfit.
No, he didn't have braids, but his
Without
out,
the
he
braids,
had this
he had that-
long,
Yeah,
long
yeah.
hair and like this big ass blue
the
jacket.
crazy oversized jacket with the
Yes.
shoulder pads.
Yes, he looked like fucking Milli Vanilli.
Yeah.
He did look like Milli Vanilli.
He's like, Vanilli's dead. I'm Millie. This is what I'm doing now.
If I
Since
went,
that lip syncing fiasco,
Yeah.
this is what I'm doing. I'm living in a phone booth.
oh
He
yeah.
goes right back to making a phone call after that. He's like, oh, whatever.
Well, why is that dude scoping out that bike? Honestly,
Yeah, like, and how did he know she was there? If
Yeah.
I went to Chris's work on Monday and said, "Hey, where's Chris Samples?" It'd probably take me 15 minutes to get to where he's
Right.
at or whatever. It was just in the middle of a park, Milli Vanilli in the phone booth. I'm like, that guy knew where that girl was.
Right there.
She's coming this
They couldn't
way.
write that better. Like,
So Robin tells Spike she found the card, but she didn't call the number. Spike fills her in on the history of the hotline and the trouble it brings. He mentions that he too is having visions, and that's what gets Robin to believe him. So she
is
tells.
so naive. Oh my god. She's like, I don't understand how they can arrest this guy. I used to work in his office, and everybody thought he was creepy, but I think he's really nice. And like now she's believing this guy who rides up in leather. Like
She believes so easily, so quickly about this ridiculous story. Like she jumps on that train a little too quick and easy for me. There's no normal person would think that Spike, or every normal person would think Spike's a fucking nutcase at this point. Just batshit crazy. But she's like, oh yeah, you're totally sane, and your story about a demonic hotline possessing people makes total and complete sense.
must be that sweet mullet. Just
Yeah, it's like,
or that leather.
He is really intense in this scene, by the way.
well,
He's-
yeah, and even when
he's selling it with every ounce he has.
He's also extremely cool.
He's still playing it cool.
And even when he found her, she was like, "Oh, hey, Spike." I'm like, "Bitch, like you just saw this guy at a diner one time."
would you be like, holy shit, this
hey.
guy's stalking
It was
me?
literally like, "Hey, Spike." Like she went to school with him.
You're
and
totally
they worked
right.
together.
You're totally right, Doug. You're totally right. Hey, Spike, how's it going? You ate some of my fries at the diner. I bet you
Right.
for a minute, literally a minute.
They had like a 5
Yeah.
5-minute
Not even
conversation.
5 minutes.
Like,
Now they're best friends.
Oh hey, what's up, dude? I'm in here.
What's up, Spike?
So, we that scene ends, and we go to the janitor in a cheap motel room, now under police protection. And a cop enters and tells Terrell, that's the name of the janitor, that he's like, hey, I'm going out for food. You want me to bring you back anything? The cop leaves, and he's like, before he leaves, like, there's another cop outside the door, to watch over you and protect you. So Terrell then is like, he's in the room. He's
happy.
He's happy.
He's like, I'm getting chicken and wine. You're doing real good.
Yeah.
You're in witness protection, but you're
says,
doing A+.
I'm in a fancy hotel.
Yeah.
It's a cockroach like motel.
Fucking
man.
cockroach motel. Yeah.
It's a roach motel.
He's on the phone like trying to place bets
I
with
know.
the bookie. And shit.
Life is good.
I like to think that he's placing bets with the guy from the first
I hope
movie.
so too. I hope so too.
Yes.
Right, the guy that has the office next to the Santa Claus.
Yes.
Yes.
But he's looking in the mirror.
He's looking in the mirror, and the ghost of Grubeck appears next to him in the mirror. Now, for some dumb reason, Terrell runs into the bathroom instead of out the door where there's the cop waiting for him.
It's in the theme song.
Yeah, you're right. A Grubeck again appears next to Terrell in the mirror, and we can at this point we see Grubeck's face is starting to change.
I did kind of like this though, like how he was in the mirror, but he wasn't in the. You know what I mean?
In the room.
In the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did like that.
It was a reverse vampire, basically.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good way of saying it. Reverse vampire.
And so his face looks like he's got like popped boils on his face now. It's starting to look all fucked up.
Starting to look rough.
Yeah. Terrell smashes the mirror with a plunger, which is awesome. And that's when the toilet begins to shake.
It starts to growl.
It's like gurgling.
Yeah, it's shaking, build. I'm expecting ghoulies to pop up, but
I wanted some shit water.
Yeah,
I wanted
wanted-
water. I wanted the poo water to come out of the toilet. I'm like, okay, this toilet is going to.
I want to make that my ringtone. It's seriously, I want the poo water.
Yeah. You're going to jinx yourself in real life
I
now
know.
tomorrow
I know.
night.
Tomorrow's gonna be rough. This could happen.
Yeah.
You wanted
But,
poo
like,
water? You got poo water.
Yeah.
The sound effect they were using was
I agree with you.
water-esque.
I expected blood or shit or
Blood,
something.
gross.
We all expect that, but no, guys, that's not what we get. Instead, the toy just fucking explodes. Just explodes.
Like proper explode.
Yeah.
like dynamite.
And I'm like,
Yes.
and
Dynamite.
Yeah, exactly. And at first I'm like, oh God, please tell me we get death by exploding toilet. Like, I'm in on that.
I know. I'm hoping
But-
for like a toilet seat in the fucking
Yeah,
stall or
something like
that.
he just. But no, we don't get so lucky. Grubeck then just says, "You forgot to flush," and Terrell runs for the front door, flings it open, finds the cop down the ground with his throat slit. Terrell starts to run, but Grubeck does pops up in front of him. He runs the other way, then Grubeck pops up in front of him again. So and
When he popped up the one time, he had coffee in his hand.
because he came through like a vending machine.
And then he says L'chaim, which is Yiddish, or it's Jewish.
Yeah,
it's
it's
Yiddish
Jewish.
for cheers. So is he Jewish?
Grubeck, isn't it? I don't think
I
that's a
don't know.
Jewish
It is-
name.
I
It's
don't
so
remember this at
weird.
all. So he walked through a vending machine holding a.
So he phased through one wall to cut off the janitor from running away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Janitor turns around, runs the other way. He phases through a coffee machine. This time, when he phases through, he's holding a cup of coffee and says L'chaim.
Do you know how ridiculous that sounds?
I know.
How do I not remember that? I totally watched it. Wow.
So, Grubeck runs for the Terrell runs for the road, where Grubeck then just teleports over, grabs him while saying, "Make sure you check both ways before you cross." And Grubeck just holds
boy.
Terrell in the middle of the road as an 18-wheeler semi truck comes barreling down the road.
Oh
There's
yes.
so much time.
Thank you. Now, exactly. There's so much distance. This truck could easily stop.
The truck is honking.
And so the driver clearly sees Terrell, has like a quarter mile to come to a complete stop, but instead, I think the driver is a fucking murderer. He's just a madman by the wheel because he doesn't stop. He just
Doesn't slow down.
I think he even speeds up. He plows right into Terrell, who fucking explodes into tiny, bloody, fleshy pieces.
It's so awesome.
It's amazing.
It bursts into pieces.
It's like he's holding dynamite. It just explodes.
And then he stops immediately.
Yeah.
He released on the brakes. I was like, you couldn't do that like a quarter mile down the road?
He stops on a dime.
Boom. Good
It's
luck,
so
buddy.
good. I'm crying over here.
And you know, the janitor is not trying to get away.
No,
he has plenty of time to like kick some.
He doesn't even try to wiggle around. Like, I get, okay, he's invisible.
stands there.
He doesn't even try. He just stands there like.
Taking it.
I don't know why I went froze. Nobody can hear what I'm doing when I don't know, go freeze.
It's so awesome. When he bursts, it's just I was jumping up and down in front of the TV like, yeah!
Death by semi.
Oh, it was so ridiculous.
So we cut to Grubeck appearing in Robin's bedroom while she sleeps in her bed. Now, Grubeck, he reaches out and touches her hand, which causes her whole forearm to glow blue.
Yeah.
And we notice his face is even more fucked up now than it was. And he whispers her name several times, like in a real creepy way. But then he gets pulled back into his human body by the...
Yeah, he hears
Jody
the cop saying, Grubeck, wake up!
And he's like hitting a nightstick on the bar. He's trying to wake him up. So Grubeck's pulled back into his body. But before he does, he blows her a kiss. And then he vanishes. And he's back in his body. And his face is normal again now, too.
But they really emphasize him touching her arm.
Yeah.
And making it glow blue.
Yeah.
It's like is he putting some kind of a power into her?
Yeah.
Is he pulling
something
from her?
They don't explain any of it.
Nope.
They do a real shitty job of like explaining where
any
the
of it.
power is coming from.
Is he trying to possess her? Yeah, they don't.
Because when he touches Terrell the janitor, he never turns blue. Nobody else he touches in this movie ever turns blue at all.
And it never comes back.
Never comes back.
Never. It's like...
It just... Guys, you're not looking deep enough.
Perfect.
All right, what you got?
It represents all the blue balls he's had for all these times that he never got to get with
You
her.
could have used this hand.
His hand was a jerk.
Maybe he's prepping that
Fucking
hand.
layers, people, layers.
More like, hey, I've used this hand so many times thinking about you. Here's all the blue balls.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
I'm going to inflict all the blue balls upon you.
I mean, we do find out later that, so I'll just jump to it, but yeah, Grubeck's like in love with Robin. Like he wants to get up in her guts.
How dare you walk around? How dare you walk around my office in those high-waisted jeans?
It kind of reminds me of Eric Roberts when he was the clown doll. He's like, you damn nubile sorority girls.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck you.
Good callback.
Did you say get up in her goods or her guts?
Guts.
Guts.
Get up in her guts.
God damn, Marshall.
And I laughed at it. God.
So Jody tells him that thanks to Terrell turning up dead last night, that he's getting out. And now, how anyone would be able to tell that the bloody chunks on the side of the road were Terrell, I have no clue.
Yeah, because he exploded. He just proper exploded.
There's nothing left to identify him with. Grubeck's taken to a room where his lawyer's waiting, along with the opposing lawyer and Sheriff Stone, who I really want to call Sheriff John Stone, just to make a Beach Boys reference there.
Yeah.
But nothing of importance really happens in this scene, except for that the opposing lawyer says that she has more evidence that links Grubeck to the girl's murder. But for now, he's like, they say that he's free on bail, which is complete bullshit later, because I have a big thing to do with that later. I'll get to it. But
I'm going to say something right now. If there was an actual court case between acting abilities, between the actual defense lawyer and the prosecution, I'm going with the defense. Okay, Grubeck's going to walk free because that bitch cannot act her way out of a fucking paper bag.
You want to know
Jesus Christ.
Would you like to know what some of her previous
Yes!
body of works included?
Please.
Mostly softcore porn.
Yes!
Mostly
Because those tits are barely contained in that
she's a veteran of the H.R. Blueberry series. she's quite the veteran of the Emmanuel series and like a bunch of the other softcore porn stuff.
I just want to know how many lawyers in that time wore that big fat scrunchie at the end of their hair, because whoa, she had the scrunchie going.
did.
Yeah.
I don't know if
she
you
did.
guys remember the scrunchie, but like the girls would like wear the scrunchies up
Oh,
their
yeah.
arm
Yes.
and like But I mean, this is a
How do we- of
professional.
course we remember the
She's wearing
scrunchie.
it in at the bottom of a long braid.
Giant braid ponytail.
Yeah.
And at the end is this big ass fucking scrunchie. That ain't holding shit.
No, that's a fashion statement. That's what that's an accessory.
She's professional but fun.
That's true.
And what was it about the defense lawyer? Like, oh, I'm surprised you go. She was like, I'm surprised you get your license back or something. Like,
Yeah, he's a shady lawyer.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
super sleazeball lawyer.
And it's in this scene that they mentioned that Grubeck was drunk and he wasn't going to be a credible witness anyway.
who is probably the best actor in the movie, honestly.
Well, the guy had like 150 credits. He's been
Really? The actor? The defense lawyer did?
Oh no, I thought you were talking about Terrell, the janitor.
No, I'm
Never
talking
mind.
about...
I don't know who the fuck
the
that guy
sleazy
was.
lawyer. The sleazy lawyer I thought was fantastic.
No idea who he was.
I agree.
I
Lawyer.
concur.
So we go to Spike pulling up to some house, which he breaks into by picking the lock on the back door. He snoops around, and he comes.
He picks it with a switchblade too.
As all badasses do.
Yeah, of course.
That lock with a switchblade, motherfucker. That ain't happening.
For Spike, it
missed
is.
that. I totally missed it.
Not in the lock.
Come on,
I mean, you could go in the.
He's
door.
biker Jesus. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Well, if it was biker Jesus, it's just been like open.
So he comes like this, like the desk of the home office, and I gotta say this office section is pretty sweet in my opinion. It has like all these shields on the wall, like animal heads, and a small armory of guns hanging on the walls. Now, I don't just mean hunting rifles and your maybe a shotgun. No, oh no. I fucking mean AK-47s and other fully automatic assault rifles hanging on this wall. There's a goddamn Tommy gun hanging on this wall. and,
Enthusiast.
and on the desk, he finds a picture of Grubeck and Robin. And he's rooting around the desk, snooping around for stuff, and he finds dozens of more pictures of Robin in his desk and like this massive phone bill. Speaking of the phone begins to ring, and the receiver flips off the cradle by itself, and we hear the hotline intro again, and Spike says in the phone, "Give it a rest, asshole," hangs up, and he hangs up the phone.
Look, give it a rest, asshole. Like, that's the way he responds to these phone calls. He responded the same way at the phone call at the Mad Dog Inn. He goes, "Fuck you!"
Yeah.
Just hangs up.
That's how he fights demons.
He's just rude.
Yeah.
It hangs up on phone it's on automated machines at that point.
He gives him a zinger and then hangs up.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Winning.
Where was I? Anyway, this pisses the phone off.
It does.
It really pisses the phone off because the phone now,
phone
or
is so
whatever
mad.
it is, it causes all the doors and windows to slam shut, and then all the light fixtures begin to explode as Spike runs through the room.
With a sweet spin move.
Yeah, there are so many things exploding in this movie. Like, I'm talking like John Woo or Michael Bay to be directing this fucking thing. It's insane how much shit explodes.
Dude, I love how that, like, the room starts to, like, everything's sparking, and he's like, "I gotta get to the other side." And then while he's running and then goes, "Spin move!" He just, for no reason, he does a spin. And they show it from two different angles. He's running through, shielding his head, spin move. And then another angle, spin move. It's so awesome.
Well, apparently all you have to do is have like explosions and shit, and you don't really have to have any plot.
Yeah, apparently they just like, we'll try to hide up, just cover everything up with explosions. He runs through the kitchen to the back door, but it won't open. And that's when the hose attachment on the kitchen sink comes to life and starts spraying Spike with water. And like, with the force of a fire hose,
Yeah.
apparently. I
Yeah.
mean, he actually has to cover up and like protect himself from the water coming out of this
Dude,
little
I
sink
wish I
faucet.
had that extension because my dishes would be so clean.
I liked that scene though. I just thought it was so stupid, but I was
It is
like,
so
oh,
And now, not just the hose, but the entire kitchen comes to life.
Yeah.
The oven opens. It's shooting fireballs out of it.
Hey, Pee-wee,
Which you
how you
run
doing?
towards Spike. The freezer,
You might want to get that looked at.
yeah.
the freezer door opens and like frozen pizzas are shooting out of it like distance. And he's like dodging these things like dodgeballs. Fire's erupting out of the ovens again, and it's fucking insane.
He jumps on the counter
Yes.
and does like a jump off of it over all of the crap.
He jumps onto the kitchen counter, dodging frozen pizzas that are being hurled at him, leaps over a fireball that's coming out of the oven, and into the room where the AK-47 comes to life. It floats off the wall in a horrible special effect. It's
Really
awful.
quick. This
was the
wall,
80s.
this wall has, like you said, so many assault rifles. Is a beautiful floral background.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful It's like all flowers. It's like you got all these flowery pictures and all these
Actually,
menacing
the room
weapons.
itself is actually a pretty sweet room, man. It's been awesome.
The wallpaper's horrible. It's all flowers. It's like it looks like your grandma decorated the room.
So yeah, the AK-47 comes to life, floats off the wall, and begins to shoot at Spike. Spike dives behind the couch for cover, then uses a book to distract the magical firing gun, which gives him time to leap over the couch like a fucking action hero, grabs the gun out of the air, and then a stuffed boar's head on the wall comes to life and says to Spike, "Hey, watch where you're aiming that thing." Spike continues to fire the gun.
Dude.
And he, again, doesn't just shoot the boar's head full of bullets. Nope. Like everything else in this fucking movie, the bullets cause the boar's head to explode.
Explode.
Dude, the boar's head goes, "Watch where I point that thing." And he's so angry and pissed. I gotta say, the actor was in the moment. He looked like he's been through hell. And he's probably been running through this whole scene. And he's just so angry. And it just kaboom.
Like he's gone complete Rambo in
Yes,
this scene.
yes.
Man.
It's so Rambo. It's so intense.
I just wish he had a red bandana on.
Yes.
And he's like,
It really reminded me also, I think it's just that era, but it had an Evil Dead
That's
too.
what I was just gonna
Were you-
say. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you.
That's.
go ahead, 'cause
I
that's
just
exact-
thought that, like, because I was gonna ask you, where have we seen? Well, that's what I thought of when they did that gun. You kind of talked about the special effects. Where now back then, it probably was kind of cool to see
Right.
that in any movie, like that special effect back then. Remember?
Yeah, I'm
what they
trying
didn't
to
get
compare-
see?
yeah, I'm trying to
It's
compare it to
hard-
something
it's
else
hard
right now,
to do
but
that
yeah.
for you now. I know. But that was like all the things coming to life, the boar's head, the pizzas coming out of the freezer. That's Evil Dead
It
too.
was very
Yeah.
Evil Dead to me, and it, again, because it was comical, and I mean it was supposed to be like scary and super intense and crazy and Rambo, but it was comical to us. But I think, like you said, back then, that was like a special effect that they really
was a
thought
fad.
was going to be
That's-
really
yeah,
cool.
the new
Yeah,
thing.
like let's copy this and.
Oh yeah, because obviously. I agree with everything.
Sorry, I stole it.
I can't add to it.
I stole this.
So I love the
I'm
fact that he blew the boar's head up, but then he goes on. He
goes
goes on.
He then shoots the phone on desk, which also explodes.
It blows up.
It blows up, and this causes everything in the house to return back to normal. And he just walks out of the house like another day in the park.
The shutters open. The light pours in. Like, oh, like
You are free.
You survived. Good on you, Spike.
And what's the last thing he does? Does anybody remember? As he walks out, the gun that he's holding, fingerprints included, he just tosses it in a fucking bush and struts off in his leather jacket. And I was like, what
Oh my
the fuck?
I totally missed that.
I totally thought that though. Like here you have like this obvious arsenal, like, and it responds to bullets. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like by '91, you should know to like
Yeah.
wipe the prints off, then drop the gun,
or
right?
take the gun. Fuck
the gun,
it.
yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
you might need that gun later.
I don't want to be caught with that shit. Fuck that. I'm gonna wipe the gun. I'm gonna drop it down.
Jesus Christ.
yeah, why?
So we cut to the community college where Robin gets pulled aside by Spike, who's now Spike Perry knows her class schedule too. And they go into an empty classroom, and he shows her Grubeck's phone bill, and he wants her to convince her father that there is some link between the phone calls and the murders. And then he wants her to break into Grubeck's office to look for more clues or evidence against him. So, again, that's a lot of shit for her to pile on this girl. And again, for her to be like, okay, I've known you like maybe a day now.
Sure thing, Spike.
And that's just the first time he does some shit like that.
Yeah, it's so. It's just insane that this girl goes along with this shit so easily that it just drives me insane.
It must be all the aqua.
The Aquanet's gone to her head.
Yes.
The fumes. So Robin does. She sneaks into Grubeck's office, and she
doesn't really sneak in. I mean,
She works in the
there.
office.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
she says hi to
Hey,
the
how's it
old
going?
man
Yeah.
/
yeah, but I mean,
you
she
know.
still technically sneaks into the office.
Yeah.
Which I did want to bring up, and I noticed this in the movie, and it's very nitpickish, but he's in prison, in jail,
Yes.
going to trial for a murder of 5 women at this point.
Yeah.
Do you not think that they would have cleaned out everything in
I didn't
that
think about that.
office?
That's a great
for
point.
Great
any
point.
kind of
Great
records.
point.
But nope, Barney 5 PD just lets it hang there, and then Robin just struts on in and finds whatever the fuck she finds.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a great. I didn't even
that's-
think
There
about
would be
that. That's a great
police
point.
tape across that. I mean, there would be police tape across the fucking
Yeah, no,
office
you
and
can't go in
everything,
there,
and there'd be
Yeah.
walls empty.
Same with his house then too.
Yeah.
And Spike just walked.
Yeah.
Right in. Well, he did break in, but
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
everything in the
yeah,
house
yeah.
is totally.
Everything in the house will be
Right.
completely
Yeah.
taken away.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe
all
in
the
jail for at
guns.
least what 2-3 days by then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Good call, Doug.
Man, they didn't think this through at all.
Doug, you're so smart.
That's why we have him here. That's why Doug's here.
That's why Coffee Doug is in the house.
So she rips out a page from his day planner, and that's when the phone on his desk begins to ring. So
Well, the day
again,
planner said would contact L's
yeah, about Astro something. Yeah, I have it written down somewhere. But again, this dumbass bitch answers the phone, and I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Because kind of the same reason. Like, if you're trying to sneak in and out of a place without getting caught or leaving any trace, don't answer the phone.
Good point,
Just
yes.
let it ring and walk out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because guess who comes out when she answers the phone? It's fucking Invisible Mike Tyson. Wha-bam!
Do the voice.
Of course.
Kiss the flow. Kiss the tail, bitch.
That's still Dusty Rhodes.
Of course, it's the hotline calling, and after she hears the first line of the hotline intro, I like to say, which is like out of the darkness into the light, she gets electrocuted by a bolt of blue electricity that
Or knocked out by Invisible Mike Tyson.
There you go.
There you go.
Robin falls unconscious and has a vision of the female lawyer driving her car, or dying in a car crash. When when the car drives itself into like a power substation, which also explodes. Robin wakes up in what looks like a hospital room, but it turns out to be like a doctor's office or the nurse's office at the college. And again, as we said, what fucking community school is this?
It's the nurse's office at the community college.
Yes.
And she walks out, and the lady at the desk is like, "What are you doing out of bed?" "I'm all right." "Well, if you're all right to walk, you're right to go to class."
Yeah.
What kind
like-
of fucking nurse is
Yeah.
this?
It's like, that's a high school.
This
There's
is
like
college, right?
Yeah.
This is
About your
not
classes.
fucking
College,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
not
walk
high
out of
school.
class in the middle of it if you want to. Nobody's gonna say
No
shit.
shit. You don't have to go to class in college. They're not holding it against you.
What kind of
Don't
medical
go.
team finds her unconscious, takes her to a nurse's
nurse's
station,
Well, okay.
just
so
lets
but-
her lay
but she
there
was-
for so
Yeah,
long?
yeah. Rather than sending her to the hospital,
Yes.
send her to the nurse's office at the community. Is there even nurse's office at the
No.
college? I didn't think
Yes,
so.
yes, there are. Yes, there are.
Okay.
Resident nurse, right here.
Either way.
I am a nurse, and yes, there are nurses' stations at community colleges. However, if you found an unconscious person in a dean's office, you'd probably say, they probably need to go to the hospital.
911. 911.
The nurses' stations are for like, I don't feel.
I got a boo-boo.
My tummy hurts.
I
Yeah.
burnt
You
my
know,
hand on the
okay,
Bunsen burner.
Why is your tummy hurt? Okay, let's figure it out. But you find an unconscious bitch who's sneaking through files.
I ain't
You're
dealing
like,
with that shit. Get her the fuck out of here.
Yeah, she needs to go to the hospital.
So yeah, the nurse is on the phone with Robin's dad at this point too, and she gives the phone to Robin. Robin tells him that someone else is going to die, and she tells him, "I had visions of this." And of course, the father is actually legit here. He's like, he doesn't believe her, so good on him because he shouldn't believe her at this point. Robin leaves, gets in her car. Again, don't even check for concussions or anything like that. Just gets away, drives off by herself. Don't give a shit.
Go to class.
And as she drives away, the payphone that was next to her car starts to ring. And we cut to the female lawyer driving down the highway. She gets a call on her sweet old car phone.
Yeah,
Oh
the
my
car
God.
bag,
The car
the phone
phone.
bag, or whatever it is.
Let's
Hey man,
break
we all had
this
those.
car that she's driving is like a 70s like I don't know what it is.
Camaro. It's a Camaro.
It's a 70s.
It's late 70s Camaro.
Hard-bodied Camaro, and she's answering her sweet
It's a
ass.
bitchin' Camaro, bitchin' Camaro.
It is a bitchin' Camaro. We have so many bitchin' Camaro like references on here. Oh my god, I love this whole scene. I can't just take it away from me because I'm going to talk.
All right, so no surprise, it's the hotline. It rattles off about darkness into light bit again. The hotline tells her that it sees death on the road ahead. She hangs up the phone, and that's when we hear Grubeck's voice coming through the radio telling Susan, that's her name, we finally learn her name, that it's impolite to hang up on people. Susan starts changing all the stations several times, but she always gets Grubeck's voice talking to her and laughing.
I love this stuff. I love it. He's like, "Hey, don't you dare turn that channel! How dare you do that? This is Stabbing Steve.
Yeah.
We're
It
gonna
was
be
pretty cool.
here all
That
night
was
long, dude. This is one of the best moments of the movie.
This movie, so much stuff in this movie, especially, it's like they just ripped off every Nightmare on Elm Street
Yes,
movie.
they did.
Like, it's exactly what would have happened in the Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Fuck,
Yes.
Freddy does this, cracking wise. He did the thing with the guy on the motorcycle
Yep.
in 5, and like everything is like a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff of this in
Well,
this
this
whole
was
movie.
made in '91. Where were those other ones made?
80s.
Damn.
Well, if you remember correctly, the first one was directed by Robert Englund.
Good call, Chris. I was just gonna say that.
That's true. Oh yeah, the first
Sorry,
movie.
sorry,
yeah.
Dan.
No, you're good. Yeah, it was that time. Yeah.
So where was I?
The radio.
The car gets possessed now. The door's locked. The car speeds up and starts to drive itself. Susan's car ends up rear-ending Robin's car, so they're on the same road. So apparently
Coincidence?
when Robin left the school, it was like daylight.
Right.
And now she's driving somewhere. It's night. So it's just, where the fuck does she live in comparison to this college?
Dusk. It was dusk.
Was it? I thought it was
Do you
more
remember,
afternoon.
Do you remember when she drove away? I'm sorry to go back, but when she did drive away, like they showed a phone ringing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
he said that.
randomly.
I said that.
Oh, you said that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But this was the early '90s, Marshall, and that's all I'm gonna say. But I love this scene.
Yeah,
I
so-
love this scene.
She rear-ends Robin's car, and then it passes Robin, and she sees Susan in the car like screaming for help as the car is driving by itself.
You're painting over so much. There's so much fucking car action. There's so much crashing and
Well, I
burning.
haven't gotten to that yet.
Well,
yeah.
Go on, go.
Jesus.
We're on a highway to hell, Marshall.
Highway to hell.
So Susan's car speeds off, and Robin decides she needs to speed up to keep on trying to catch up to Susan's car. And yeah, and at this point, like Aaron said, there's like car crashes and accidents. Susan's car like pinballing off other cars, which then bounce into other cars. It's a fucking like pile of catastrophe.
It's
on the road.
fantastic. It's something straight out of like grindhouse films. This is something like, these are real cars and real drivers crashing into each other. Real stuntmen, real people who are driving these things, smashing back and forth. You really don't see that in today's cinema.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
You really don't. It's a visual treat.
This will speak credit to what you're saying, but I did look up one like weird article about this movie, and I don't know if I haven't validated this, but Marshall might actually know. That director reused this footage many times in some of his movies because of like, that's a perfect car. Obviously, probably not the actress's face screaming,
Right.
but the cars crashing into each other. That was filmed for this movie, and then in other movies, he just used stock footage from his own movie.
Well, it's a fantastic. It's great.
Obviously,
I mean,
you think it's
there-
fantastic.
It is.
Because I mean,
It's-
we're not talking about cars nowadays. We're talking about like boats.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
big
I mean, these
big-ass
cars are
cars.
huge.
Yeah.
They're made
Buicks.
out of solid metal. I mean, they can take a bump without
Yeah.
like breaking off the fender that's made out of fucking plastic. These are solid metal cars.
Yeah, it's something to behold. It's something to like appreciate about the old, big fucking metal cars. The cars that I got my license in.
We're gonna take anything away from this. Aaron loves this scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to be in a B movie, like horror movie. Even then, it was a B horror movie. Like,
Right.
why did they spend all their money on this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The things they
Chris
spent their
is like,
money on.
Why
boggle
did
my
they?
mind.
That's what they went with.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah.
So just like the vision Robin has, Susan's car veers off the road, crashes into the power station substation, and it explodes.
Massive explosion.
Massive explosion. Robin pulls up to the fire, sees Grubeck walking out of the flames, his face totally fucked up.
She gets out of the car and like takes her sweet stonewashed jean jacket. And, like, she's holding it.
She holds it over
chilly
her
out.
face.
The flames are so hot. I must block the flames with my face.
Grubeck tells Robin that she has a good heart and that he's dreamt of touching her and that they are meant to be together and soon they will be together forever.
Creepy.
He then turns around and walks back into the fire, disappears.
Pretty sweet exit, I gotta say.
Yeah.
He's like, see ya. Gonna walk back in the flames. Disappear. Pretty boss, honestly.
Here's for you gaming geeks out there, it's very Final Fantasy VII when Sephiroth walks away into the fire in the flashback scene at, like, I think is Cloud's hometown or something like that. But
you're on your own on that
I
one,
know.
pal.
I'm not. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the gaming geeks out there.
The crickets.
Yeah. I'm looking at you like, what?
Shut up.
You don't game.
There are gamers out there listening. Though.
Yes, there
And this
are.
game's like, I love Marshall. Fuck,
Fuck that!
Aaron.
I game hard. Mario Party.
Have another fucking jello shot and be quiet. Anyway, so yeah, cut to Robin and Sheriff Stone's squad car now trying to explain to Sheriff Stone about Grubeck, but rightfully so, Stone won't believe her, saying that he's locked up in his cell, which doesn't make any sense because this is what I've said, like, they clearly said like he was like out on bail, like in that interview scene with the lawyers, but now he's still in the jail cell.
No, because he makes a comment. The defending lawyer makes a comment that because this screechy bitch over here can't because she complained to the judge so much, he can't get out on bail. Like he thinks he's gonna get out on bail, and because she's like, no, I have other evidence, and because she has a good relationship with the judge, she's talked him into keeping him in jail.
All right,
that's why. Yeah, and that's why he's like,
Drive
carefully on your way home, and then.
All right, overruled.
Hence the scene of
It was like a throw.
Lawyer.
It was lawyered.
So we also get a scene of her trying to explain all this to her dad, who still won't believe her. But we move on to see Robin now with Spike. They're back at the diner talking. She shows him the page from Grubeck's planner, which has a note on it that reads, "Contact L's Astral Research." There we go. That's what it is.
Right.
And Spike rushes out to contact L, telling Robin that he'll meet her at her friend Paula's house at 10. Now we cut to Lucifer.
Okay.
Okay.
He says he's gonna meet her at her friend's at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Also, why does he know where Paula lives all of a sudden? This is like,
Good
What is
question.
he stalking these people?
They're BFFs now. They're in it.
Like, he hasn't even met Paula at this
They
to this
have a
point.
connection. They just, they get it.
So we cut to Lucifer's, which is a tiny little shop that has a big problem with fog, by the way.
Big time, yeah.
Big problem with fog.
They spent a shit ton on that fog machine,
Yeah,
don't they?
Dude,
Good.
my nose is like this place for like expensive old books and
Fog.
dry ice. I guess.
Spike goes inside, and this place is a giant fire hazard because it's just dozens upon dozens of lit candles mixed with old, dried up old books.
Yep.
It's awful.
That's beautiful. I love it. That's I couldn't have
And-
said it better.
So it said the sign says it closes at midnight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. So Spike asks the woman working the store, and this is Agnes. This is Brigitte Nielsen.
This is where we meet Bridget Nelson.
Yeah.
Why do you say Brigitte?
Isn't it Brigitte?
It's Brigitte.
Yeah.
Is it?
Thank you.
I think it's Brigitte. Yeah.
I thought it
Because
was
she's all
Bridget.
European
Because her real
and
name
shit.
is actually, she's like French saying her real name is like Jeet, and she added like the Brigitte
Yeah.
later. That I
Yeah.
read. That's
It's Brigitte.
so.
Lawyer, Darren.
Lawyer.
Ooh la la.
I thought Marshall was just an idiot.
Flavor.
So
Brigitte.
Brigitte, she's wearing this crazy black, like sheer see-through top with like this large popped collar and a massive shoulder. She looks like a linebacker. Shoulder pads. And
Because she's 6'2".
she is 6'2". And Spike asked her for books on astral projection. And so now
there's some flirting.
yeah,
There's some
it's
like
just about
back
to
and
say,
forth.
they flirt a lot in this scene. There's a lot of back and forth flirting. She calls him cute, a younger Freddy Krueger, which is a weird thing.
Yeah.
So Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street movies exist in this universe, but why would anybody say you're young Freddy Krueger? Because
And then
that's so
he says
weird.
to her, like, you look like a Elvira on steroids.
Yep,
And she's
Elvira
like,
on steroids.
You say the sweetest thing.
Thanks.
Yes.
You look like an Elvira on steroids.
So she gives him a rundown of astral projection. So
Sure.
followed by some more flirting.
Yeah, they open up this book and like he points at this one picture. And
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell what the fucking picture was.
No,
Like,
I couldn't tell
Wait,
you.
wait.
oh, that's
This-
it right there. What?
Well, hold on. Okay. This picture is the same picture that's hanging in his office.
Yeah.
When he is
Yeah.
invading his office, he
sees that.
He does look at that picture and go, "Bleh." You know,
Yeah.
he makes a weird face with the picture.
Oh, all right,
that same
totally.
picture
Oh,
is
the
in
home
the book.
office?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the
I-
home
I missed
office
that
with
then.
the gun right.
Unless
gun,
you,
yeah.
gun.
unless you're watching this movie twice, ripping bong rips.
Not
me.
that you were.
Not that I was. You may not have picked up on that subtle little nugget there.
So you're saying the bong ribs bring out the attention to detail?
Apparently.
At times it does.
I see.
So okay, I didn't realize that, but still,
Yeah.
like, it's still for him to like, yeah, it's
Thank you,
weird.
bong rips.
Research.
So we cut to Robin
Or
and
thank
Paul.
you, Sarah. I don't know. Were you doing bong rips too?
I wish. Maybe I would have liked this a lot more. If I...
We cut to Robin and Paula watching, of course, the standard public domain movie in every horror movie, Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought the same thing.
And they're at Paul's house. Robin gets up off the couch, goes in the kitchen to make popcorn. After
Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold
hold
on. Slow
on.
down. Slow down there, cowboy.
I've got stuff to say coming up. I'm not skipping over
They
things.
No,
keep
but-
flashing back and forth.
Yes, I'm gonna get. Okay,
Well-
whatever.
Before she
You
gets up
did
for the
wrong.
popcorn.
You did wrong then.
It is It's a Wonderful Life also
Yes.
public domain?
It is.
At
I've
that
done
time.
the
Okay.
research.
That's
I've done the
why.
research. It is public domain. From 1974. It's a Wonderful Life either lapsed or they did not. Either they said fuck it, we don't care, or they said oops.
So why are we
Since
watching It's a
1974,
Wonderful Life?
it has been
It-
public
is
domain.
Is it
They flip back and forth because Robin was getting scared
I
of
get
that.
that,
so she
but
wanted-
why that movie? Is that just
No,
public
it's just
domain.
because it's public domain.
Public
Okay,
domain.
I was like, is it Christmas all of a sudden?
Yeah, exactly.
That was my thought, too.
I'm about to say the same thing. I
was like, where is the Christmas
When have
tree?
you ever seen Night of the Living Dead and Wonderful Life playing on the same night?
But they
Yes.
clearly say the dates is September 16th, and the reason I know that is because my birthday is September 17th.
Oh.
So when
yeah,
they said
so it's not
September
even Christmas season. I have never even seen the Wonderful Life ever played on TV outside of Christmas season.
Yeah.
agreed?
Ever.
Yes.
But if it's public domain, anyone can show
I
it. We
get
can show it.
I get that, but I'm saying they're saying this was televised on TV. Like I'm not Living Dead. Yeah,
She
maybe.
even makes a point to say
Like-
that they play it 365 times during the Christmas season. So why are they playing it during?
And their
that's all they
banter
got.
back and forth.
Drunk
is so
Aaron's having like a hissy
ridiculous.
fit over here.
No, let's play this. No, let's play that. Like,
I mean, let's be honest. It's Nightmare on Elm Street or not?
Night of the Living Dead.
Yes,
Wrong one.
Yes, is that really even that scary? I mean, come on.
Yes, if you like are afraid of
Well, and
zombies.
I love
yeah.
that
when it first came out, it terrified people.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
So
sounded
anyway,
good. I like
yeah, Robin leaves, and then after as soon as Robin leaves, a commercial comes on starring Grubeck.
With
Where
a
he is-
shitty fucking pencil thin mustache.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm sorry. Before we go on, it was constantly back and forth. It was Christmas movie, zombie movie, Christmas movie, zombie movie,
Yeah, we
Christmas
established
movie,
that.
zombie movie. We need to really make that sure that that's clear. They flipped it back and forth.
Yeah,
so
we
much.
said that.
yes,
It's,
yeah,
it's
Alright,
been
no,
clear.
I get you. That's important.
Alright, yeah,
it
the
is
back and
important for
forth
what's
is
about to
important.
happen.
constantly back and forth.
So Grubeck is advertising the new super remote called the Zap-O-Matic, which controls every electrical device in your house. Grubeck points the remote at the screen or right at Paula from
Oh.
inside the TV. and Paula turns black and white and then vanishes and reappears inside the TV.
Before we go forward, can we talk a little bit about the commercial? Because I love the commercial so much. I do love when they're like, "This is the Zap-O-Matic," and they show like a bump. Dude, it's fucking Ted Bundy and Peg. It's totally Ted Bundy and Peg. It's a very Ted Bundy Peg.
Al Bundy.
Al Bundy.
Ted Bundy was a serial killer.
That
I was
different.
like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, that is not Al Bundy.
Well, you know where my mind's
That
at.
is like a nerdy fucking geeky dude, and he's got like stains on his shirt. That is not Al fucking Bundy.
I do like how he goes, "This is for the TV? Nope. This is for this? Nope. This is for the garage? Nope. This is for the vibrator?" And she jumps, holding her butt. And she's like, "Sorry, baby." He has a vibrator remote control.
A remote controlled vibrator.
For
Yeah.
his vibrator for his wife.
Which nowadays totally exists wireless, but
gonna
the
say.
remote control one back in the day, they were attached with a wire. They were
Which was-
wireless.
Dude, I love how you're breaking this down.
Alexa, please turn on the vibrator.
Yes. You know she said that many times. The way she just
And you
said
know the
that.
sad thing is, I guarantee there's something out there that works, a Bluetooth vibrator that does that.
Are you hiding an Alexa somewhere that I don't know about?
Chris is like, what the fuck?
I love that part.
So
So, yes.
she
Gets sucked into
Paula
a
finds
movie.
herself in the movie It's a Wonderful Life during the end where everyone's gathered around singing. It's the end of the movie.
George Bailey, you're the best in town. Here's all the money.
And Paula seems way too calm about being magically transported
Where am
into
I?
a black and white
Dude,
movie.
she's got snow in her hair because everyone's coming inside with snow. Everyone, like, she looks, I mean, yes, it's 90s effects.
She looks real confused,
But
but
these-
she's like just taking
totally
it in.
cool. Yeah,
almost.
she's like,
yeah.
all right.
I have to say, these 90s effects are pretty decent.
They're
She
not
looks
bad.
like she's fitting in pretty
Yeah.
well.
That's because they just reshot the movie in black and white. They didn't. It's not the movie. They just reenacted it. It's not like green screen or anything. So,
It still look good.
where were we?
I liked it.
So the famous line, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings,
Where
that
were
the
we?
little girl says. In this, it gets changed to, in this version, to every time a bell rings, a zombie comes to take us all to hell. Which is like, okay. And that's when, the bell rings, and that's when Paula finally gives pause. She's like, uh-oh. And that's when all of the party goers turn to face Paula, but they have now all changed into zombies. And they start to go after her. So we are zapped between, we've gone from Wonderful Life back to Night of the Living Dead.
It did feel real disturbing to see that little girl be like, "Oh, the zombies come to life." I'm like, oh damn.
I love this scene so much. I love everything about what's happening right now. I love everything. She's celebrating Christmas. Everything's great. And all of a sudden it turns into zombies. I can't get enough of it.
So
It was creative for.
Now it made me so happy.
This is kind of an off thing, but and Marshall might anyone of you might remember. When did the movie Remote Control with?
yes, that I was thinking. I didn't know if anybody else was
with
going.
Three's
Adam
Company
Sandler.
guys.
John Ritter.
John
Yeah.
Ritter. No, I'm not talking
I
about.
love
I'm
that
talking
movie.
about.
Okay.
I think it was right. I think it was
because it ripped
right
that off
around
too.
here.
I remember somebody took me to see that in the theaters when I was a kid, and yeah, it's exactly like that.
This
Same
was
thing,
in-
like just zapping through TV stations.
It was an ongoing theme.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get sucked into the, and then they've done it with whatever that movie was with Reese Witherspoon and Tobey Maguire years later, and then that turned into a thing.
Pleasant
yeah,
Hill.
but it
Pleasant
kind of,
Hill.
but that they were like you said, they were ripping off Nightmare on Elm Street. They
Yeah.
were like grabbing weird shit.
I
Like
feel like that's what the 90s did, though. Like that early period of the 90s, it was kind of weird, and they had gone through this big change in the 80s, and then it was kind of like, now where are we?
What's hot?
And yeah,
Let's
like
grab it.
89 to like 92, there was a lot of repetition.
I
just
agree.
feel like
Repetition.
everybody,
Yep,
it was
yep,
just
yep.
a lot of repetition
it's
where
still
people
cool.
were, yeah. It's very,
Yeah.
some of it
but
was
it's
done
awkward.
really good, but
It's awkward. It's
Yeah.
an
Some of it
awkward
could be, yeah.
time.
So Paula's trapped between the zombies and the door, and
I
then that's
fucking
when
love it.
suddenly that's when zombies start breaking through the door behind her, grabbing at her, And I love this part because one of the zombies, you can clearly see wearing the black driving glove that Barbara's brother Johnny wears in Night of the Living Dead. So they even have like the Johnny zombie.
But dude, one of the zombies is also Bert from from.
Nope.
Aaron's
It's a
goddamn
Wonderful
drunk, can't even talk anymore.
So awesome.
Which is great. That makes for fun. Bert from what?
Bert from It's a Wonderful Life. He's the one who playing the accordion. Yes.
That's right. That's right.
So Paula, she's sliding down the door, screaming and like cowering, and then we see the little girl from It's a Wonderful Life. She's now a zombie.
Zuzu.
And she's holding a gardening trowel.
What?
She comes out of the crowd of zombies and she
Just
kills
like in Night of the
Paula,
Living Dead, yeah.
just like Night of the Living Dead when the daughter kills Helen in the movie. And so that's it. That's the scene. And we go back to Robin as she exits the kitchen with a bowl of popcorn.
Hey.
And when she enters the living room, we see Paula dead on the floor in front of the TV, covered in blood, with the garden trowel sticking out of her chest. So yeah, it's a pretty. I will give this movie. It's okay. It's fine.
Sucks.
Can I ask? Because I guess I missed something.
Okay.
And it's been years since I've seen it, but I've seen it a lot as a kid. But so when that zombie just stabbed the girl to death, like you guys just acted like there was meaning to that, but I was like, wouldn't a zombie just eat her face? What did I miss? Why is that important?
Because it's from Night of the Living Dead.
You never seen Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah, but I don't remember it. Like
In the
really?
basement,
In the
Helen
basement.
Carter, the wife of I forget the husband's name, but they're the
a
one that had the
total
little daughter. Yeah, the douchebag guy. They take her down to the basement because she's been bitten, and they're trying to save her.
Yeah, the little daughter is down there the whole time. You don't know that she's been bit. She's just sick.
The
yeah.
little daughter has
Yes.
been bitten.
Yeah,
Yes.
and she turns into a zombie and kills her mother with a garden
the
trowel.
trowel,
Which
yeah.
I thought the same thing in the movie. Like,
So
why
my
is she
argument
using-
still stands. There will never be a zombie that would do that.
No,
No.
Okay,
I agree,
so
but
if you
Okay.
watch the
you're
extras,
talking like
It just
if you watch the extras on Night of the Living Dead, the people that created that movie actually talk about that scene and that they needed to do something scary but that wasn't too graphic because they couldn't show the little girl like biting the mother
Like
and
today.
so they wanted to show in black and white her being incredibly afraid and build that suspense. And so when they kill the mother with a tool, then they can create blood spray,
Okay.
which they actually created with, I think it was like chocolate syrup or
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
like
that-
that.
in
They
black
like
and white,
created
yeah,
with
they did.
chocolate syrup. So there is like a thing that they talk about if you watch the extras to that.
See,
That
I've never
actually
seen the
helps.
extra.
Yeah.
I've never seen the extra.
Okay.
I think we have like
that-
the anniversary version, which is why
I get, but
you
yeah,
know,
I
that
agree with
kind
Doug.
of-
That's
And
like the only time you ever see in these movies like a zombie use like
zombie
a
use a
tool
trowel.
or
Yeah.
an instrument to kill somebody.
and I like that they did that now. They homage that.
Yeah,
kind
they
of-
homage it
You know,
Okay,
in Knuckle
okay.
Bones, he uses a gun to shoot Nazis. So whatever, demons can do that. So,
I wouldn't know. I didn't see Knuckle
I'm
Bones.
sorry.
Well, and hey, Doug. Every Halloween we watch Night of the Living Dead, so feel free to come over.
yeah, come on over.
Yeah.
It's good.
What's your address? Please say it right now.
So Robin screams, runs for the back door. When she opens it, she finds herself face to face with Grubeck, who now looks like his face has been stung by a swarm of bees.
Or he has a horrible case of herpes.
Grubeck enters the house, turns off the lights while backing Robin away from the door. He picks up the phone, telling Robin that he wants her soul, dials 911.
Yeah.
Grubeck uses his powers to alter his voice to sound like Robin, and he tells the 911 operator that I just killed my best friend using Robin's
Yes.
voice. After that, he closes in on Robin, telling her something, he says something like, she's going to be his for eternity or something like that. And Robin runs for the front door, flings it open, and this time she runs into Spike.
Thank God he got there right at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right?
Grubeck. Oh, no. You have something?
No, it bothered me because like when he was back there at the bookstore and they said they closed at midnight, Brigitte or whatever was like, we close in a few minutes. So he was gonna be at her house at 10, but they're about to close at midnight. There's a 2-hour difference there,
yeah.
and that fucking bothered me. But whatever.
That's a great point. That's bullshit. That's just lazy script writing. That's something that should have not
Well, there's
not
only
happened.
4 people writing the script. So
Yeah, there's between 4 people. You think they'd catch that? So Grubeck joins Spike and Robin in the living room. Spike picks up a fire poker, swings at Grubeck, but the poker just harmlessly goes right through Grubeck.
Of course.
Grubek says that they can't touch him, and but he can touch them, but then he says he'll come back and just vanishes in his blue light. So it's like, but then the big showdown. He's like, oh, I'll be right back, guys. Hold on a second.
I love this scene because there's so much awesomeness.
Man, you really love this movie. You love everything in this movie.
He slices through him. He can't hit him. But instead of just he just drops it. He just drops the pokers. I can't hit him. And then Grubek goes, I can't. I'll be back. And he disappears. And then when he disappears, he also uses the door. Because he also uses the door. He disappears, and then the door opens, and the door closes.
Doesn't he open the door with his mind, though? I mean, the door just opens. He doesn't, push it open.
He does both. He disappears, the door opens, the door closes. What an asshole.
And when he leaves, apparently the kitchen then fills up with fog. So he leaves fog behind now when he disappears.
Lots of dry ice. Lots of dry ice.
So much
The
dry
budget
ice
was huge.
That's right. The budget goes.
Couldn't use that to make the movie better. No.
That's why they could only afford fries. They couldn't afford anything else. Between the dry ice and the explosions.
Sorry, guys.
Just
you're
fries.
all eating fries.
So Spike and Robin, they flee the house, and we cut back to the jail cell. Jody approaches Grubek's cell. Seeing his face, he says, it looks like a map of the moon. So now, this is weird because every time we see Grubek in his astral form, his face is fucked up. But when he's normal, his face is fine. And in this scene, he's normal, right? I mean, he's back in his cell.
The way I looked at it was,
body.
In his astral form, he is fucked up. In his physical form, he was a little fucked up.
But it made a big jump. Marshall's right. Now all of a sudden his face is fucked up. I thought the same thing. I thought he was fine.
It's not as fucked up as the astral form, but it's getting more and more deteriorated.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Grubek corrects Joy, saying, no, it resembles the topography of hell. They exchange some more words. Grubek laughs a lot in this scene.
Yeah, he's like real crazy and like...
Yeah, he just lots of laughing. We go back to Robin and Spike sneaking around town for some reason. Like, I don't know why they're sneaking, but they're going around town sneaking around. And
she's wanted for killing her friend. He called 911, so now they're looking for her.
You're right. I guess that would make sense, but they do a really shitty job of conveying that's why they're sneaking.
They don't explain
I didn't
that
even
very
think about that until you just brought that up. Right. Where were we?
They're sneaking around.
Yeah,
the town.
I'm lost my.
They're being super sneaky.
All right, so Robin wants to know what they're gonna do, like what we're gonna do, and Spike says that they're gonna kill Grubek, and his plan is to lure Grubek's astral ghost form away, leaving Robin to actually kill Grubek's body in the jail cell. She cries a bit, saying, "I don't think I can do this."
I don't think I can do that.
But of course he's like, "Yeah, I'll totally do this."
I want to come back to this now because this is like when he asked her to break into the office. She's like, I don't know. Now you're asking her to go murder somebody.
Yeah. And she's like, yep, totally do it.
Right. Man, I don't know if I can do this. She says it twice. I don't know if I can do this.
He does kiss
You're
her.
doing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, he gives her a big old smoocher.
But really,
it's
and calls her like a kiddo.
Hey, kiddo.
Yeah, Spike.
You're the real hero.
He kissed her and called her kiddo?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't the plan be better if who the ghost is after, which is the girl, you go running down the road, and I'm the rebel without a cause. I'll get into a jail cell.
I thought the same thing. Like, he should be the one killing her because she's the one Grubek wants.
She's
the bait. Yeah.
Yes.
Thought the same thing. But so Spike basically says, as long as Grubek's astral form is chasing me, she has nothing to worry about. That's when they kiss, and he's like, "You'll be okay. I'll meet you at the point," which has never been referenced in this movie.
One time.
Wait, I take it back. I take it right.
In the restaurant.
In the restaurant, yes. But
which is where Milli Vanilli was.
Yeah, no, he was in the park. Milli Vanilli was in the park.
We're at the point.
We don't
That's
know
the
because
park.
who cares?
Yeah.
We don't know because when we get to the point, it's clearly not the park.
Oh, that's
they were
true.
in
the
earlier.
point is
not the park.
True. That's true.
Sarah nailed it.
So we cut to Spike riding his bike up to the police station. He starts yelling out for Grubek. Apparently, Grubek can hear all this through the concrete walls and it's so far away.
He's a demon.
But
He just comes up and yells at the
I
building.
know, he's like,
hey, you! I hate you!
And apparently, apparently Jody and the sheriff are the only cops in town. The only ones. Because there's not a single cop ever. There's no cops coming out. So like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you yelling outside the police station?
But it's like a 4-story building.
It's massive.
He's just going, "Hi,
This is supposed to be a small town, and this thing is like a giant, like government-sized federal building. You see, like downtown St. Louis or something.
But Grubeck's like cell has that old school like
Yes!
It looks like
bars.
It's like a Wild
and
West
like an
bar.
open. There's an open window.
Like he's fucking Frankenstein. Yeah. Frankenstein's monster.
It's
it's
There's like candles.
It's like challenge accepted, bitch. Here I come.
Like
Yeah.
it should be lit by candlelight or something.
Grubeck hears that he changes into his astral form. He leaves the cell, leaving his physical body behind, sleeping on the cot. Grubeck's astral form then hijacks a semi-truck and then begins to chase Spike, who is on his motorcycle.
But carries the fucking trailer. Why would I don't know, man? You're driving this giant semi,
I love
chasing a motorcycle.
Aaron loves everything.
Let's go ahead and pull the trailer too.
Well,
you know
he
what I
didn't
mean?
have time to, unhook it. I
He's
guess.
a demon.
He
He
can't
does-
do that
I
with
think
his
you're-
mind. He
I
can't
think-
snap
Good
his
point.
fucking,
I think you're questioning this way too much at this point. At this point, we're all the way to the end. Yeah, well, it all pisses you off.
So
let's just-
Grubeck drives off in the semi truck, and as soon as he does, like the instant he does, in rides Robin in her car. She gets out of the car. She enters the police station, and we go back to the car chase. And again, at this point, I also notice that when Robin enters the police station, she's empty-handed. So you would think that if you're going to kill someone,
no, I thought she had the gun.
no. She is
Oh.
completely empty-handed. I would think she would have a gun or
I
a
thought
knife
she
or
did.
something.
Okay.
Not at this point. She's
I
got
will
nothing.
I will also say that I was in and out of sleep. Like towards the end of this movie, I'm like, it's real hard. There's so much time in between things. I'm like
Yeah,
falling
at this point,
asleep
she goes
on
into
the
completely
couch.
empty-handed.
It's real hard. It's real hard.
So Grubeck's chasing after Spike down a very empty road, roads and highways. Again, no traffic at all. Grubeck's laughing the whole time he's driving, like a
honking
madman.
the horn. As I would too. If I was trying to get a semi trying to kill someone, I'd be like, I'd be doing the same thing.
Spike speeds up as Grubeck starts to get close, and Spike leaves Grubeck in the dust. Which, again, to me, seems a very bad idea since the whole plan is to have Grubeck chase you. Losing Grubeck and leaving him behind seems very counterproductive to your plan.
Well, he is on a motorcycle, and Grubeck's in a fucking semi. I mean, there is no way that a semi is going to keep up with a motorcycle.
I do love how he's just
I agree, but if
cutting along.
he's trying to say I have to lure him away, you wouldn't go stay
Yeah.
far enough to keep him going.
He's got to
But then he
keep
just
him going.
takes off.
You know, he's got to
he
keep him
does
going.
gun it. He's like, he just turns it on, and he's gone. And even Grubeck kind of goes like, well, what the fuck am I doing?
Back to Robin. She's calling out for Jody in, again, a very dark and very empty police station. Jody's dead body falls out of a closet, landing at Robin's feet.
yeah.
You mean Jodie Body stumbles out? Because it's so funny. She opens the door. The guy, the actor, takes 2 or 3 steps, and then falls. I love it. I love that part.
Even though he's completely dead.
He's
Yeah.
completely dead.
Yeah,
And it's like,
and
was
his
he-
throat is like completely
His throat's
ripped open.
His neck, it's so the makeup on this effect is so crazy that it looks like they just poured like a jar of like thick jelly or cranberry sauce on his neck and called it a day.
Yes.
There's so much of it like on it. You can't even really tell what happened. It's just like this bloody mess on his neck. And so after she finds the body, we cut back to Spike, who is now so far ahead of Grubeck that you can't even see the truck behind him anymore.
You can't.
It's now nowhere to be seen.
It's gone.
Spike has enough time to come to a complete stop, lift the visor on his helmet,
Look
and
cool.
pull out a bundle of fucking dynamite.
Where did you get that?
Where did he get dynamite
At
from?
the Acme store. Come on.
So he lights.
It's like three sticks of dynamite.
It's at least 2. Definitely, yeah, at least 2.
I think it was 3 sticks that have taped together with like black electrical
Like
tape.
electrical tape. Yes. And he lights the wick on it, which is a long wick.
Long
It
wick.
should have. It needed to be at least like
A lot
3
longer.
feet.
Yeah, it should have been a lot longer. And what's he do with it? He shoves it down his pants. Whoa.
That's safe.
What? So now the truck comes back into view. Spike races off again as the wick on the dynamite burns down
Towards the truck.
Right.
It's like a game of chicken.
But the thing is, the angle, it's very weird because the angle they show him drive off, it makes it look like he's going away from the truck. And then the
Right.
very next scene, we see him going towards the truck.
Right.
It's just bad editing there.
Yeah.
So, Spike pulls the dynamite out from his pants as he races towards the truck. Grubeck somehow makes the truck jackknife. Like, he hits the brake and the trailer swings around.
Right.
And Spike throws the dynamite and then pulls like a Jackie Chan like move and like slides under the truck on the motorcycle, under the jackknifing trailer. The dynamite explodes, causing the back part of the trailer to explode as well, which then leads to a chain reaction of the whole trailer and truck exploding.
It was a gas truck. I mean,
And
there was
it
other
was-
dynamite
it was like a food truck. It was,
It was highly volatile
like
materials in that truck.
like every other bad movie we've done on this show, this explosion gets covered from like 3 or 4 different angles.
4 or 5.
Boom.
It was a truck
Boom.
full of dynamite,
Yeah,
guys.
It's like,
Dynamite
it reminded
truck.
me so much of The Boat and Humanoids from the Deep. And then there was one movie, I think it might have been Humanoids Deep, but a truck like goes off a bridge and hits a ravine.
That
and it
was
blows.
also Humanoids from the Deep.
It's just like ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Like,
But I
ridiculous.
love this scene. It was so crazy. I'm sorry, I love this movie. All right,
Full disclosure.
this honestly made me think of a T2, Terminator 2. Go
Yeah.
back to Terminator 2. Think about that scene where Terminator 2, when they're heading towards that smelt factory, and they have the it's liquid nitrogen. It's a liquid nitrogen tank, and it does that weird like clip. where it
Jackknife.
turns to the side, it jackknives,
Yeah,
and
jackknives.
it drives forward. That must be a same like the music in the beginning, that jackknife.
The problem is, though,
truck, everything. I'm like T2.
Unfortunately, I think T2 came out in 92, and this was 91.
Well,
So it
they-
actually beat Terminator 2 that punched
Well,
in that
you
one.
know what? They go, wow,
Well, here's my
this
question.
is an awesome movie.
So
Jacket.
the main thing is like, well, two things. First off, the guy is a ghost driving the truck. So why did Spike feel like he needed to blow up this truck? But most importantly,
Point.
so at the very beginning of Spike's plan, when he calls out Brubeck or whatever,
yeah.
Grubeck, he didn't know how Grubeck was going to chase him. But yet he had 3 sticks of dynamite.
Dynamite.
Just
gotta be
in
prepared.
case
gotta
old
be prepared.
Grubeck jumps in a truck full of dynamite
That's a great
to blow
point.
up later.
Preparation.
What did the trailers say? Like the truck that he drove away.
I
In
don't
the trailer,
know.
it said
That's
something
what we're
about
trying to talk
some
about.
sort of chemicals.
Yeah, it did.
I didn't see that.
But did he just
I just know it
assume-
wasn't like the round of
But
like
again-
gasoline or liquid
No,
trailer
no,
that you
no,
normally
no.
see.
It was a
regular
box. It was a box
Yeah.
trailer, but it said something about some sort of chemical or something.
I missed that. I didn't
Yeah.
see it
But
close
Doug
enough.
brings up a good point. Like, he's a freaking demon ghost. Like, how did?
Yeah.
I think he's gonna
Can he
pick
just-
that one right there.
Yeah,
He's
like,
gonna
why would he
blast
even?
him
Why would he
around
even need the
yeah,
truck?
why does he need the damn
We've
truck?
seen him teleport and show up wherever he wants. Anyway, why does he just like
He's
show up?
teleported inside a car. Why doesn't
Yeah.
he just teleport on the back of the bike
Yes.
and
Yeah.
like trip up the bike or like whatever? I mean,
Just
And
stick
how
a-
is yeah? I like
stick a
how is he gonna
broomstick
know
in
he's
the
gonna take this truck?
yeah, the
Why does he have-
broomstick.
It does bring up a bigger flaw that I'll go ahead and just say it now because you did mention. I thought this as soon as she found the dead cop that Weekend and Bernie's did out of the closet, like, even though his throat was slit. So you see all the dead cops. So then I was like, and do you remember when Grubeck said the line? Because him and Spike were fighting, and Spike punched through the astral
Yeah.
form, and he goes, "I can touch you, but
Yeah.
you can't touch me."
Yeah.
So then, why in the very beginning, once he has this power, does he not immediately kill all the cops, which he already did in the end, and just get the
And just
keys
get
because he
out.
can touch anything, and then put his body in a safe place, and nobody can ever do anything to him ever?
Yeah.
He's not the smartest demon.
Yeah, I
mean,
guess.
he's not.
You're too
Well,
smart
at
for
this
this,
point.
Doug.
At this point, he's like, he's being protected by the police. So why would he kill the police?
But that's what he does.
But what
Yeah.
I'm saying, I know what he
He's
does at the
getting
end.
cocky.
But what? Yeah, he's getting cocky. Agreed. Yeah.
Okay.
So at this point, he's already in jail. His body can't go
So you
anywhere.
think he's
Nobody
using
can
them
get
as
to him.
protection to the
Absolutely,
body?
absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah.
We're
Theory.
going deep on
Yeah.
this.
Going deep.
Theory debunked.
Are you happy now, Doug? We're going deep.
I still don't know why Spike had the fucking dynamite in his pants. It didn't make any sense.
And where was he hiding said dynamite?
Hey, is that some dynamite in
So-
your pocket, or are you?
We go back to Robin, who now has a gun. So
Good for
I
her.
get, obviously you can take it off one of the cops some at this point. She enters the cell block. She spots someone sleeping under a blanket in a cell.
But it's his cell.
It is, but it's like they build up like, they really build up like it's gonna be like the falls, like, oh, that's not him, or it's gonna be a dead body. But she opens up the cell, slowly creeps up on a sleeping person, pulls back the blanket, and it's just Grubeck, and she screams. Which the scream, he was asleep. She screams, wakes him up just in time for him to knock the gun away as she pulls the trigger. And again, like, what the fuck, bitch? Like,
She is not the one to come murder somebody. I
why
guess.
would you fucking scream? Like, I hate this so much. It's one of the things I hate the most. Because it's not like she wasn't expecting him to be there. She's there to get to him, to
Yes.
find him and kill him. So when she does find him, why is she screaming to wake him up? Just pull
not
the
an
trigger.
She's
I'm
not
right-
experienced.
I'm right there with you. That was my exact same gripe.
Oh my god! So Grubeck tells her that he killed Spike and that it's him and her for the rest of eternity. Robin knees him in the balls and just runs away.
Again, always kick him in the balls.
Always.
Oh, that worked. That worked like
That
a
worked.
charm.
Isn't that what Krav Maga says?
Grubeck just walks after her. Robin reaches her car outside, gets in, drives away. Cut to Spike waking up on the road, surrounded by flaming debris. He stands up, removes his helmet, mullet, fully mullet, looking perfect. Looks around a little bit, like, huh? And just like Grubeck now, he vanishes in a blue light. What the fuck is happening in this movie?
Hey, Brigitte Nielsen taught him everything.
What is it? I swear to fucking Christ.
In the magical 2 hours that shouldn't have existed.
Yeah.
She did say something to the effect of in the event of extreme pain and distress, you can go into the
Astral
plane.
form.
Astral-
Yeah, astral
So he
form.
learned everything he needed to know.
Yes.
So apparently he masters
2
it in like reading like
'Cause
basically the
he's-
Cliff Notes
the
version.
body
He's
moves.
now become Doctor Strange. He can do anything.
Astrophysics for
Absolutely.
dummies.
Jesus Christ.
the body moves. He wiggles around a little bit and goes, ugh. Doesn't seem like he's dead. Doesn't seem like he's really that hurt. He's like trying to get around. He's like, I'm just too tired. And all of a sudden, it's astral plane Spike.
Yep.
So Robin drives to the point. She gets out of the car yelling for Spike. As she walks away from her car, the trunk pops open, which
Yeah.
if you kind of think is what, huh? But no, you never see me get out of the trunk.
No,
It's like
there's
it just
no relevance
pops
to
up.
that.
Especially in the 80s. Come
Just
on.
pops up.
Or 90s.
Not getting an answer to her call, she starts crying as she reaches the steep, like high cliff that overlooks the ocean, the large rocks below.
Hence the point.
Yes, Grubeck pops up behind her, grabs her. He makes her an offer of her life for her love, or something like that.
She goes, you need to love me or I'm going to kill you. Basically, he's just shaking her. It's like, love me. And she's like, no,
Yeah.
I love you. Love me.
She refuses. Grubeck demands that she says she loves him. Spike just pops up from fucking
Spike is
nowhere
buzzing,
at this
goes,
point.
I love you, asshole.
Yeah, he's like, I'll love you, asshole. Spike punches Grubeck so hard in the face that Grubeck goes flying over the cliff edge and plummets to his death on the rocks below.
Death by punch.
This is fucking right across from hell.
Exactly.
Let me get this straight. Okay. So this is Spike's ghost
Yes.
Form.
His
Form.
astral
Form.
that knocks out Grubeck's
Human
astral.
form. No, because
Demon.
Grubeck's
It was,
now
it was
in
his
his
human
Yeah,
form.
Human form
Grubeck's
now.
in his
So,
human form.
okay.
Well, even that's so
Sorry, everybody. We don't know.
Spike-
The astral form can hurt the physical form.
But the physical can't hurt the
I
astral.
just love the fact that he says, I love you, asshole.
And
Punches his ass over a cliff.
not just like he doesn't like he punches him and then he stumbles back from the punch.
No, he
he
punches
goes
him.
flying off like he goes flying like 12 feet into the air and over a cliff.
Through the air, like
So does the astroform? Astroform has like way more superpowers. Than,
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah,
Like, to make it relevant with everything
yeah.
coming up, it's like he just gets sucker punched by like Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet, wearing the gauntlet, or a Hulk or something, and he goes flying.
I'm just gonna bring it back to Mike Tyson. Sorry, it's like
Try it again. Let's see if we can get it.
kiss.
You're God, you can't even speak anymore.
Now that totally sounds like Dusty Rhodes after a few
That list.
Budweisers.
Kiss the beach. I don't know.
Kiss the beat.
Kiss the show.
Good try.
So
Sorry.
Spike helps Robin up. They hug. They kiss again. And dear fucking God, what happens next is just sheer
Oh my god.
bonkers and retarded.
I love it.
They both now glow in a blue light. Both of them are glowing like fucking dead Jedis. Spike then transforms into balls of colored light that fly up into the starry night sky, then explode like fireworks, while Robin just stands there looking up and smiling like this is totally cool and completely
he
expected.
ascended to heaven.
Like she's like, yeah.
And
He
dear
made it.
fucking God, are
He
these
made
light,
it to heaven.
these special effects are so shitty. So like you're telling me they couldn't have just got a regular firework shot up in the air and it would have been so much better than what they did on this film.
I love it. I love that she kisses him. He floats up and she looks up and she's like, got this like awe-stricken face, mouth agape, like open, like, oh. And then the explosion, and then she closes it and smiles like, yeah.
He made it.
Yeah. That's
It's
Spike.
insane. So we crossfade to Robin and her dad talking on the beach. Robin tells them about Grubeck killing all the people. The father's like, yeah, my bad. I should have listened to you. I'm like, no, you shouldn't have listened to her because what she's saying is fucking insane.
It's crazy.
And so Looney Tunes, no one would ever believe that story. Sheriff Stone walks up saying that that they just pulled Grubeck's body off the rocks and asked Robin if she has any idea how he ended up down there. She's like, Spike did. Spike killed him.
quick.
Yeah.
That's pretty quick.
Very
Yeah.
quick. Stone tells her that Spike is dead, that he died in a crash over an hour ago. Stone then has Robin arrested for killing Grubeck.
No.
Robin is loaded up and driven away, screaming, I didn't kill anybody, I didn't do it, daddy, help, blah, blah, blah.
So the angry sheriff is now arresting.
Robin.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, I thought that was weird. They switched to that. That was another thing where the cops actually act like they should in any normal movie. Like, all of a sudden, she gets,
Yeah.
like, I thought that was crazy.
I agree with you. And it's so sudden that
It doesn't make any sense for them to all of the sudden be like, because in any other horror movie, when it ends and everybody's okay, there's no repercussions. You're
No,
like, well,
absolutely
you
not.
just murdered all these people in a mall because zombies were attacking, and then but nobody believes you at all. You know what I mean? Like, there's always
Well,
like
there was the whole time like where like she kept talking about like her dad like wouldn't believe her.
He's just really worried about me. He always worries about you. Like, he's the most.
Yeah.
So anyway, as she drives up, the camera pans over from the ambulance that she's driving, as the ambulance drives away, and the car, and we pan over to a payphone that starts to ring, and we hear Grubeck laughing. Roll the credits. That's it. That's the fucking
God,
movie.
I don't.
Jesus Christ.
end credits.
End credits. So
He made it.
let's go on to our favorite kills.
There can be only one. Favorite kill?
All right, not a whole lot of kills in this movie, and honestly, everything kind of sucked. But I think I kind of have an idea that we might all have the same one, but let's make it official. We'll start ladies first. Sarah, what's your favorite kill?
I'm gonna go with the janitor being exploded by the truck, which I think, honestly, I have to admit that I missed some of the later kills because, again, like, there was so much time in between things and there was so much talking and drama, and excited,
Weirdness.
suspenseful, weird music and everything. So like when a kill happened, I'd be like, did somebody just die? I don't know what happened. So, but that one was so good because it was like the truck came. He had so much time. Everybody had time, but no one did anything.
That's true.
And then he exploded all over.
He just exploded.
All right,
it was the
let's just speed this up. Are we all in agreement that the janitor getting hit by the truck's the best kill in this movie?
No.
Yes, and like
No.
runner-up.
Oh.
Oh
No.
No, go ahead, Chris.
All right,
going.
we do have varying different.
I would
opinions.
agree. I would say runner-up is the Aaron. Oh no, what's her name?
Paula.
Yes.
That's what mine is.
really.
Yeah,
The
What-
Trowel.
Because I'm not judging by the way she was killed. It was the setup, the lead to it.
the thing that bothered me though was why are you fucking mixing Halloween and Christmas?
Yeah.
That fucking pissed me off.
Except
Yeah,
for
seriously.
Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, that's
No.
that's a completely different situation.
I think Aaron, you had a different. What was your? Did you have something else?
Well, no, that was my favorite kill.
Which one?
So
Which,
great.
No, it was Paula getting killed
Paula, okay.
in the mix of the getting sucked into It's a Wonderful Life, which is one of my favorite movies.
Oh.
It really is. It's one
a
of
good
my
movie.
like it's in
I
my
agree, but I don't like. Why are we mixing? It doesn't make it makes no sense.
Here's the
You're
thing.
thinking too much about it.
Give me a minute here. Because I love It's a Wonderful Life. It's one of my favorite all-time holiday movies. Night of the Living Dead, one of my all-time Halloween movies. You blending the two in such a fun way to the point where they actually paid so much attention to detail that they have Bert, a character who is a police officer who loves George Bailey, he still has her fucking accordion on his chest as he's a zombie walking to go kill the gal. Zuzu comes and kills. Oh my god, I'm freaking out the whole time. I'm like, why doesn't anyone else know about this wonderful scene? I think it's an absolute beautiful blend between two public domain gems.
all right.
I loved it. I thought it was absolutely beautiful.
I stand
Everyone should
corrected.
know about it.
I stand
Aaron.
corrected, but
Aaron, I feel like you and me are gonna fight at the end of this.
I don't care if I lose
We'll
because
do
I
a
will still.
live Instagram video.
Live video for
live Instagram
Chris and Aaron
feed
throwing
of
down.
that.
It's the best.
I'm with Chris and Sarah. I'm with the truck and the janitor getting hit by the truck and exploding. The scene was
Chicken
good. I'll
wing.
give it. It was a kind of unique scene, but I don't have the same, I guess, emotional attachment to It's a Wonderful Life. I've never even seen the fucking movie.
Really?
I don't like Christmas movies. I don't
How
watch
dare
it.
you?
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that'd be big reaction.
Never
but
mind.
whatever.
Chris is gonna fight Marshall now. We're gonna take.
Royal Rumble.
No. Fuck that. I'm gonna go a 1-on-2 tag, whatever.
Handicap match.
Kill both the asses.
All right.
You guys are gonna have a 3-way. Aww.
So
just
all right,
made it
we have a
gay.
split
And
vote.
not gay. I'm gay.
All right, let's move on to odds and
Not in
ends.
that way.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
All right, ratings. IMDb gives it a 4.1 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, there is no thermometer score for this movie, which kind of surprised me because it's so old. And it has a 16% audience score. And Amazon gives it a 2.7 out of 5. Plot keywords. There were 55 plot keywords. And I love some of these.
Panties.
We have scantily clad,
Okay,
bathing suit, nipples visible through clothing.
that happens.
Here's the first one, which I love. Exploding toilet. And finally, after a long hiatus, we finally get our panty lovers back.
Yes.
Panties
Yes.
and white panties were both.
nice.
We get double dose of panties.
You should start like keeping track
Tallying
of
the
these.
panties.
No, not exploding toilet. You just said is like a first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
If I
a list.
go back
of,
and
like,
all the different, like how many times we've
I'd
had
ask you to
panties,
go back.
it'd be so that'd be
Like
so much
the
work.
panty lovers love this.
So trivia, there's a few things I found. Mindy Seeger, who plays the nurse at Robin's school, was also in the original 976 Evil as a victim of the evil phone service.
Was she the one with the heels?
I'm thinking she might have been the heel girl.
I don't
yeah,
know.
because that's the only person I can think of from the original. At the beginning of the movie, when Laurie runs into school auditorium, we see the sign promoting the school. It's by Faust, directed by Joe Bob Briggs, with Roger Gorman listed as the head of drama, head of the drama department. Joe Bob Briggs, his real name, hosted a late night B movie program, and Roger Gorman is a reference to famed movie director Roger Corman. Roger Corman.
People know Joe
Yeah, you know
Bob
what I'm
Briggs.
And then Jim Wynorski himself, has admitted in an interview that while he does prefer to do sequels to bad movies so that he has a better chance of making a better film, he does make an exception to this film, which he doesn't care for personally. So even the director of this movie doesn't like the movie.
This fucking movie.
That's really all the trivia I could get. Fortunately, I also could not find the budget move for this. I really wanted a budget game today. It would have been great, but I didn't have it. And normally we close out with 5-star reviews. There were.
Wait, let me guess. You couldn't find any?
Oh no,
Oh,
there
what?
were only 10 total reviews for this movie on Amazon. There were no 5. You're right. None of them were 5 stars. There were two 4-star reviews, 5 3-star reviews, 1 2-star, and 2 1-star reviews for this movie. And normally I would write at least something down for this, but they were all really boring and bland. There was nothing really entertaining or funny or about any of the reviews. So I just fuck it, skip it, because I knew this episode was gonna be long anyway. So one less thing to cut out. So now we'll just give our final thoughts. We'll wrap this up. You know what? We'll go clockwise. We'll start with Doug. Doug, what is your final thoughts on I almost said Night of the Living Dead. 976 Evil 2. The Astral Factor, by the way, which is its full name.
Which is ridiculous.
It is
just
ridiculous.
naming that. I don't know. I think that it doesn't do anything for part 1. No. And that's just, and it, Spike was kind of...
I'm sorry. Me and you both said so bad it's good, right?
I think
From the
probably,
first one?
yeah,
we were.
for sure.
You guys did.
But I can't remember his name. It's like Jeffrey something. But the guy that played the cousin, who was also in Fright Night, the guy who in part 1, yeah. I mean, he brought so much to that movie. There was no care. They got rid of the janitor, and then I don't know. There just wasn't a character to me that I was like is carrying me through the movie because it wasn't Spike.
No.
So I wouldn't ever recommend it to anybody. I won't end up watching it again. I wasn't suffering while I watched it, but pretty silly. Personally, Sarah.
I'm gonna have to.
I'm gonna talk it up. It's so bad. It's scary.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to agree. I really liked the first one. It was fun and it was funny, and this one had a lot of dramatic music and walking down hallways and talking about feelings and not a lot of kill. Not a lot of kill at all. They rope you in the beginning with tits and panties and running awkwardly down hallways and then being killed by a stalagmite. Thank you very much. But other than that, by the midway, I was really struggling to stay awake, and I would not recommend this. But I mean, there are parts, of course, that I thought were funny and that I liked. There were characters, but there was no, like Doug said, there was no real character that I was really pulling for. And then, for the demon to be punched over the side of the cliff to death, he cartwheeled to his death. That's weak. So bad it's scary.
All right, Chris.
Fuck this movie.
So bad it's scary.
I love the first one, man. I really love the first one. I love how they the phone conversation. You know what I'm saying? Again, the cousin. What was his name? Stokes. Thank you.
Hoax.
Hoax.
Hoax. Yeah, that is
Hoax.
a really
Hoax.
stupid ass name. I remember talking about.
Thank you.
Who names their kid Hoax?
Oh man, there was the aunt. Or
the crazy
his
Bible
mother
yeah.
with the fish that fucking rained down and
fish.
He started the conversation and then it built on that phone call.
Yes.
Now the phone call is just randomly coming at random phones. It's like the demon's just desperate to fucking grab somebody, anybody. I don't know. And they don't really explain where Spike has been and what's going on there. And this movie sucked.
This movie, I mean, because I like the first one, and they don't build onto it from there.
And
Right.
that
And
makes
they
it
don't
suck
build.
worse. I think
Yes.
that's what adds to the
Yeah.
sucking.
Absolutely.
Because there were cool scenes.
Yeah,
But-
man. Yeah, there was fun parts, but it just where are we at? You don't even understand where the dean even got the number. Like, how does he get his powers?
he's just
like,
he's
how does
already
he-
got the powers to start with.
Yeah, man. I mean, where's this coming from?
Yeah.
We're just supposed to assume, and they do a shitty job of doing that. And
Right.
so bad it's scary.
I think we all know where Aaron's going with this one.
I think so too, and that's what pisses me off because he hated the first one and now he loves the second one. That sucks.
This movie seemed to be a collection of amazing scenes. Honestly, it was just like scenes. It was just like scenes, like the scene with the girl going into the It's a Wonderful Life, and it transitioned to a zombie. That's a great scene. That's a fantastic scene. Well, I think we can all agree, and that's a fun scene.
Yeah.
There's also the scene of the car crash scene, and like they're the car racing. They're racing through the car, smashing through everyone. That's a great scene. The opening spectacle of diving into the water and all that stuff, and it's a collection of great scenes.
Spike and Robin eating fries in the diner. Great scene.
Fantastic.
I mean, when you think of great
Subpar
scenes in movie
fries.
history, you think there's was it Meg Ryan or Harry Mae Simon that I'll have what she's having in the diner. There's a great conversation. I think there's a great scene in Heat with Val Kilmer and Robert De Niro. And then you have Spike and Robin eating fries.
Something like that, yeah.
Honey Bunny and what's his name from Pulp Fiction. Great.
Are you ready, honey bunny?
I gotta pee. She was Satan's little helper.
Yes, she was.
Anyway, as I was saying, guys, all these collections of great scenes. Are you fucking kidding me? So bad it's good. So bad it's good. The story together is not great, but there's so much good. There's so much good that's going on. It doesn't stick together. Bridget Nielsen, go fuck yourself. That's retarded. Why the
Chris
fuck is
just
she
threw
even
off his
there?
headphones and left the room.
Why
He
is
just
she
walked
even
out
there? Doesn't matter. But there's all these great weird scenes. So bad it's good.
But you didn't like the first one. You said so bad it's scary on the first one. That one is such a better movie.
All right, all right. Let's
They've
bring it
watched
down.
like 100 movies since then,
Let's bring it
and
down.
so that just changes things.
I see where Chris is coming from. I understand. I do not really understand where Aaron's coming from. But in the end, he watched this movie ripping bong rips, and he's been drunk this whole time. So
I have
where
watched
his-
it twice. I've watched it twice.
And you said both times you're ripping bong.
Not the second time. I was
Okay.
sober.
I can't. I hate this fucking movie. It has nothing to do with the first movie. It's been said. It doesn't build on the first one. It doesn't explain why the Dean gets his powers. I wish it would have shown him, kind of like Hoax, getting the powers, building up, doing something. We don't have that. We have Jesus Spike rolling around doing shit. It's an awful fucking movie. That's it. I did say I didn't like the first one either. At the time, I agree. I'm not gonna go back on my word, but between these two, the first one is much, much, much better. The first one is light years better than this one. I will say that. But at the time, I did not like the first one, so I have to stand by my original. I'm not going to backtrack. I'm not going to flip flop.
So much better.
I agree with you. It is better than this. I'm not saying I think it's a great movie, but it's better than this one. Obviously, I'm saying so bad it's scary as well. This movie is a piece of shit, and it can go fuck itself.
You guys
Thank
are
you.
bananas. Absolutely, this is the better movie.
And that is a 4 to 1 vote.
fucking mind, and we're going out and fucking
4 to
Outback
1.
right now, and we're gonna throw down.
All right, guys.
Taking off my shirt, Aaron.
Before this
Let's
breaks
go.
down into complete fisticuffs and something gets broken,
And man
guys.
titties.
We'll be back later. Thank you for listening. Thank you for
have
staying
mitts.
along this long. I know it's a long episode, but thank you for staying. In the meantime, guys, watch more horror movies and remember to always keep it tight.
Tight.